All right, we're doing an after show. But there was no show tonight because Jerry is drinking a mule somewhere. But man, Mooger, man, this is your after show, man. I want you to take this over. I want you to be the boss tonight. I want to sit back and drink and listen to you.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry in advance to everybody. Well, let's go around the horn about people we've got here. Mark, hello. I'm Shane, and then we've got Andy. Welcome,
Hey,
buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. When Mark put the subject out there, I said, you know what? I know half of it, but I'm just going to come and hang out and add what I know and chit chat with you guys. So I'm excited to be here on a Friday night. I'm
Yeah,
not here on a
good,
Friday
man.
night that
Mr.
often.
Tim, it's been a long time since I've seen you, brother. How you doing? How you
I'm
doing?
doing just fine, doing just fine. Yeah, Mark called me up and I just got out of the shower and
Well,
drying
thank
myself off literally, and I heard the phone. And he said Dio, and I said I'm there.
Awesome. Good to have you, buddy. Now, Mr. Happy Birthday, Enrico.
That's from the last show. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen just had his 100th last week, so
Yeah,
gotta give him a shout out. Of course,
absolutely.
Enrico Palazzo is the umpire. Also, the umpire that sang the national anthem at
yeah.
the do or die pennant race between, I think it was between the Angels and the Mariners, was the
And the
climax of
Mariners.
that good job. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and at Dodger Stadium.
yeah, yeah.
They didn't want to go to that piece of shit Angel Stadium. It makes sense.
It was probably the best
Was it at Yankee
play-by-play.
Stadium? I
Huh?
can't tell. It was at Yankee Stadium. I'm sorry. It was at Dodger Stadium.
The Dodger Stadium, you see the Eagles
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
It
gotta look
also
at
had
that closer.
the best play-by-play guys. I think they had Vince Scully, Dick Enberg, Mel Allen, and a few other guys were doing the
I thought it
play-by.
was the. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, they had like all they just like they had like five play-by-play guys
Yeah,
all talking over each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
yeah.
If it was Angel Stadium, you would have saw the 57 freeway in the back.
And they also back then in the late '80s they used to have low fences
hmm
over there too as well.
Well, I think they filmed
But
Angels in the outfield at Dodger Stadium too.
mm, but but Reggie Jackson, I think, was still with the Angels, and he had a cameo.
Yeah, I
He
Yeah, but
did.
must,
it was more than
yeah,
a cameo. He
that
was
was
a
correct,
murderer.
actually.
I
I'll tell you
remember
what.
I went to an Angel game because I wanted to see Rod Carew because I just read his book and I thought that guy
Yeah,
was awesome and I saw him play with the Angels. He had a good game too.
He was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, he was. It was great.
One stadium that always got me though, at least here on the east side, is the old Tiger Stadium because it looked like the upper row. It
Yeah.
looked like from the upper row you could literally walk onto the field.
Hey, Shane saw a kiss there. Mooger, I
Mhm.
mean, saw a kiss there. All right,
Yeah.
Mooger. Sorry about going to sports, man.
Yeah, I don't care. That's what it's about, man. That you
Yeah.
guys talk it out. I learn something every time. So, turning to the world of music news, some of the headlines that kind of making their rounds. There's a new Foo Fighters song. It's actually pretty good, man. I listened to it today.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet.
It's I like it better than I think the last few things they've released. I mean, just on this one song sounds pretty cool. A little more punk feel to it, a little more raw, which is
Yeah,
cool.
it's a little bit heavier than what they've been doing the past 3 or 4 albums. And
I
there's
think
a
so.
full album coming out March 24th.
That was
Yep.
April. I pre-ordered it today. It said April.
You
Oh,
know,
April.
April 4th, I think.
April 4th.
Yeah,
Thank you. I made up the
something like
date
that.
really.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it on I gotta pre-order that Metal Church. I keep forgetting to get that. I got the 5150 box set Tim pre-ordered. Just to let you know. But I
I
gotta
want to
get the new
get
Metal
that.
Church too.
I
That
want to get
was
that creator.
filmed in New Haven, Connecticut. I was at that show, actually. I thought it was kind of cool. Sammy Hagar, the shout out. He said, "This is not New Haven, it's New Halen, Connecticut." But it was a good show.
Yeah, I
Even if you
can't.
didn't like Van Halen, Bachman Turn Overdrive opened the show.
I
Very good.
have
Yeah, that's
every
awesome.
Foo Fighters album except
They
the
took
first one.
They opened at Norfolk Scope when I saw them and blew them off the stage.
That was a great venue too. Us Navy guys would go to Norfolk Scope a lot because it was actually one of the last general mission places I knew of.
Mhm.
And
I saw
it's so exciting running to an empty venue and picking your spot.
I saw
Yeah.
Aerosmith general admission. I was literally on the barricade. My chest was on the
Nice.
barricade.
Yep. Well, good times.
Nugent opened for them on that show. 85? Yeah, because they just come out with because I saw them
Down with
on
yours.
their Della Mirrors tour.
Nice.
Awesome.
Last great Aerosmith album.
Yep,
Yep.
it is. We need to review that one day.
So anyway, in Foo news, Dave Grohl kind of explained the firing of Josh Freese, said it wasn't an overnight decision. The whole entire band called Josh, not just Dave, not the manager. They called him, explained, hey, we're going to head in a different direction. Thanks for your time and, what you contributed. And they just went another way. Nobody was a dick to anybody. No one was, butthurt by it. Josh Freese will land anywhere. That guy
Yeah.
has played with everybody. He's not going to have a problem putting food on the table. Now he's back with 9 Inch Nails anyway. So
They traded drummers.
yeah, there you go.
Trade.
Yeah,
Because the guy who took him over Foo Fighters was a 9 Inch Nails drummer. So they called Josh, hey, our drummer's going to your band. Can you come back? It's funny.
Right.
That's pretty
No,
funny
no.
how like the whole band called him and told him, they're
Yeah.
all like, hey man, I'm sorry, we're gonna go in a different direction. Hold on. Hey, yeah, we decided we're just not gonna need you anymore. Hold on. Here, tell them to we're just not gonna it's just not working out.
You know why? You know why I probably think that happened? Because he was the replacement after Taylor Hawkins died.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you helped us get through it. Thank you. Thank you for your service. We need to go another direction because
Thank you, but you suck.
you remind us. You remind us of Taylor too much. Or I don't know. Because we want to get another drummer, a second drummer after Taylor now. I don't know.
Oh yeah, well the thing is that I think he came in quickly because they had a lot of things to still do. I mean, they had a lot of obligations to still fill. So I think that's what Josh was there for. And then maybe when it was time to record and do more Foo Fighter stuff, he just didn't fit in. And that's understandable. He came in
when they hired him, they could have hired him as a hired gun.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
a official replacement, but
Yeah.
Come in and do this, and we'll pay you a boatload of money. And boatload of money, okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's how it was wrote out. I'm sure he was just on a salary, and as
Help
long
us
as
get
this
through
runs, as long as we need you. And when they were inactive, they probably gave him a retainer, for the inactive time. And then
I'm sure that retainer was pretty good.
yeah.
I mean, hey, Robert Trujillo, when he joined Metallica, they gave him $1 million right off.
And they gave him a fourth of the band. He's a quarter member.
But they advanced that.
On that Some Kind of Monster, when he was given the $1 million, it was $1 million towards earned income.
Yeah, it was.
So basically, he wouldn't. Maybe they gave him a lump sum of $1 million, but he doesn't see anything until he earns that $1 million back.
Yeah.
So, which is still a pretty sweet deal, I think.
But they did give him a quarter of the band. He's like a full voting member in that band. So that's pretty
good.
damn cool.
That's awesome.
Voting member is one thing. Profit member is a completely different.
Well, no, they gave him a quarter of the profits. They made him a full member.
Decision making, okay.
Well, that's Lars and James. Come on.
So you're on the hook for all of our bad decisions, but our good decisions. Three of us.
Yeah, Jason Newsted was there for Load and Reload, and but I was gonna say, I found out that the Foo Fighters are gonna play the Hollywood Bowl this summer. I gotta get tickets. I've never seen.
Dude, that's awesome.
They're on my bucket. The Hollywood Bowl's nice. I seen Duran there and the Who.
Hollywood Bowl has been there forever.
It's got great acoustics there, dude. The sound is so good for an outdoor arena.
It's like Red Rocks. It's been there forever and a day.
But the thing is, when I
played Red Rock from like the '60s,
when I saw the Who, Liam Gallagher open, and that was fucking horrible.
Yeah,
God,
I'm just I passed by the Hollywood Bowl, but I didn't. But there was no show going on at the time.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to pass by it and stuff. And
I've been there twice and it was amazing. I would love to go to Red Rocks because of you too. You know, I love you too.
I think well, we're going to Colorado in May, in the third week of May, and I think we're gonna. My wife and I already decided it really doesn't matter who plays. We just want to go see someone play Red Rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
it
like.
doesn't
I
matter to
don't
me.
care if anybody's playing Red Rocks. I just like to go tour it. You know. I
Oh
think
well,
it's
yeah, we're
fascinating.
going to tour it too, but I want to see a show. You know, I want to hear something. I want to get that ambiance.
He wants to get the feel.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, Mooger.
Hey, anyway, we did hear a mention of U2. Speaking of, they dropped a new EP today. I listened to it 2 or 3
Where is
times.
it? Aren't we supposed to get it for free? Even if we don't want it?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Let it go.
Yes,
Let
we
it-
do.
Well, actually, whatever anybody wants to talk about on the topic.
That's
But Mark, I know you're a fan. So what did you think of the E EP?
I was like, it happened yesterday. I was at work. I go, what they dropped? I listened to it on my lunch and I go, only thing I didn't like was like the poem they had some other people do on there. It's actually 5 songs, not 6, because one's like a minute poem. It was okay. I just skipped to the song after it. But man, I admire them. They don't hit you over the hammer with their politics, but they do say what they mean to say. And they said some things that's been happening in this country, and I kind of agree with them. So I'm gonna go there. And I liked what was it, American Obituary?
Yes.
They talk about stuff that happened in Minneapolis, which is pretty good. I applaud them for putting that out. And guess what? It's #1 on the Hot 100 on iTunes.
Oh, there you
A
go.
poem. What are they ripping off Jim Morrison now, or what?
No.
Well, tit for tat. Now I'm going to write an album about the wrongdoings in Ireland, especially the NRA bombing pubs in
They
London.
did. It was
So
called
tit for tat.
It was called Sunday Bloody Sunday. Hello. That was
That's
against
that's about the pub in London.
it's about the IRA.
Yeah,
Against the
back in
IRA.
1982.
Yeah, the IRA blowing up crap in England.
Yeah, and at Red Rocks, they said, they got death threats for this. They said, this is not a rebel song. This is Sunday Bloody Sunday. And the whole band started getting death threats by the IRA because they said that at Red Rocks. So,
Yeah, they've
I
already
just find it
about
so-
that over 40 years ago.
yeah.
I just find it so cliche that like some artists feel like, oh, let's write a song about it and it'll be a #1 hit because everybody's talking about it right now.
I don't think
It's
that's
like,
it, Mark.
how about we
That's
just write a
wrong.
song that sounds good and has a nice, beautiful melody?
It does.
It
The
doesn't
song
it
does
doesn't-
great.
No, but you could just write songs that just are kind of cool sounding. How about that?
No, but that's
I would-
what music is.
I was just actually listening to Van Halen, A Fair Warning again, and it's got my favorite. It's got like some of the best songs that I know of, and none of those songs really have a story to it. It's good melodic music.
What are you talking about? There's no story in fucking.
Okay, all right. Let's tell me the
for,
story about Mean Streets that has to do something with that today.
Mean Street. It's about going to the fucking ghetto and shit.
Okay, no, but is what's going on?
Owen does about
Where's
living
Mean
in it.
Streets located? What's the
Dirty
backstory?
movies about a porn star. From
Yeah,
the
no,
punk
no,
scene?
but you're not getting what I'm saying. Artists, they feel like they need to like say, "Oh, yeah, this is a hot
It's-
button
but-
issue.
but
Yeah,
I
none
need
of
to write a
them are
song about it."
political, but
No, Mark.
My
You're
opinion,
wrong about-
I don't give
Hey,
a crap.
hey,
I want
Mark,
to listen to
Wrong about
music.
that, Mark.
I want to
Music
listen to
is-
music that takes me away from this bullshit.
Well,
You guys can do that. Go right ahead.
sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Andy. You
No,
give
no,
us your
go
piece.
ahead.
Sometimes the music has to say something, has to have a message. And sometimes we have to listen to that message. Because right now things have been rampant with nobody saying anything about anything. So any kind of rockets from any part of the world that want to say anything about anywhere, I'm all for it.
The one thing I don't really like is like I love Bruce Springsteen to death. I love him, but to say we're bringing the cavalry out, dude, you ain't bringing the cavalry out. You're charging $2,000 a ticket. Shut the fuck up. If this tour was for Americans, You would fucking make your tickets fucking affordable.
Affordable, yeah, affordable, yeah.
Affordable. U2
Yeah,
has always been affordable.
Like one of the issues that's going on in the United States is inflation. Yet we're
Okay.
gonna write a song about this, but
Right.
we're just gonna tune out that there's inflation
I can't
going
afford
on.
to
I'm gonna
see
keep the price.
Springsteen. I love Springsteen. I'm gonna go see
I do
Springsteen in a
too.
second. The thing is, his tickets are out of the reach of the common man, which he
gotta
sings
go.
for. You don't see Neil Young charging $3,000 for a front row ticket.
But the thing
Fine.
is
I can
but
go
thing
see a
is
show
that-
probably once a month.
who puts these prices on the shows?
He
The
sold
artist?
his soul to Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
Like everybody else does.
Oh, wait a minute,
U2
wait a
never
minute,
did.
wait a minute.
Pearl Jam never did.
Oh,
I
Pearl Jam
remember-
eventually did.
I remember back in the day when Mellencamp or John Cougar or whatever the fuck you want to call him was
Right.
popular. His tickets weren't fucking cheap.
They're cheaper than Springsteen.
Well, yeah, because of inflation, but they're about the same money back in the day
I wouldn't blame artists for
when he was
price.
popular.
You know, I don't care about artists' political opinions. If the music is good, I listen
Right.
to it. And then I read the lyrics, and sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't. But I don't hate them for their opinions. I never have. I love Green Day. I love Springsteen. I love U2. I love Ted Nugent. I love
Yeah,
Kid
the thing
Rock.
is that political statements in music have been done since the beginning of rock
Always.
and roll.
That's
It's
why
not-
I said
I question how authentic they are behind the cause.
Well,
No, I think
Because
it's very authentic.
honestly, I don't think they always are. They just want to jump on the bandwagon.
not for political messages, people would have never heard of artists like Bob Dylan
yeah.
or Joan Baez.
Neil Young.
Or
What
Joni
about
Mitchell,
what about artists against apartheid? You know, I ain't gonna play Sun City. You know, that was a great cause.
But these artists are all hypocrites, though. Like Mark just said, they're talking about a cause for the common people. Yet, I'm not going to set my prices for the common people. That's
Yeah,
being a hypocrite.
Yeah, but
But did they make the
Humans-
prices more?
humans are hypocritical
They
by
don't.
nature.
These guys, they could do some free shows if they
The
want.
thing
They
is,
never would.
the thing
They
is
would do
with
that.
the thing is with
You are
They know
Spring,
what they're worth.
but the thing is with Springsteen, Andy, he sold his tour to Live Nation Ticketmaster.
All right, that's
U2's
fine, but-
never done that. U2,
Okay, That's
You know.
fine. Yeah, but like Mark was saying, well, why don't they play for free here and there? Why don't you go work for free?
I didn't say that. Oh, that's him.
Oh,
and not
I'm
me.
saying,
Why
I'm
don't
just saying
you go-
if
Nobody
they're
should work
being
for free.
If they're
It's
really
like-
being authentic about it. Like they're always talking about, I'm gonna write a song for the common people.
Right,
This is for
yes.
you.
Right.
Oh, by the
Ozzy-
way,
What
Ozzy
do you think?
$500.
Ozzy sold
That's got
his
nothing
tour
to do with it. Or
to
it's a song.
commercialism. For
I think
Christ's
one of the
sake.
biggest hypocritical bands out there, and I love them to death. I love all their albums. Is Rage Against the Machine.
Boom. They're raging for the machine.
They're raging for the money, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't down to, but their message is for the people,
Hypocrites.
but their tickets are not.
But I
They're not
mean,
hypocrites.
if you went to Ozfest, all you saw was beer advertisement commercials and all kinds of advertisements.
It's all. There's
because
nothing
these
wrong with-
people pay for that tour.
But the thing is, those commercials and stuff made the ticket prices cheaper. So
Yeah, having a lot of advertisement at the festival.
Hey, look at baseball with ads on their fucking jerseys now. You know,
It's
ads on the
commercialism.
wall. It's all.
That's America. That's capitalism.
It's nothing wrong with that. I agree. I agree with
There's
them
nothing
making
wrong with
money.
capitalism.
but
Just
makes-
don't tell
make-
me that you're doing this for me. You know?
I'm
Oh.
just saying, make the ticket
But-
prices
Oh my God,
affordable.
Don't give me the bleeding
All right,
heart. Like
let's
I,
just
Well,
move
I'm just
on.
going to say this: humans,
No way.
by nature, are hypocrites.
Yeah,
we
we
all
are.
are.
I'm a
Every one
huge
of them.
hypocrite on a lot of shit. You know, I
So,
agree.
so let me say just this one thing, Mark. Do you think that when they release songs that are, have a cause, they shouldn't get paid for them?
no, I'm
that what
not
you're
saying that. I'm just saying that they're doing these. They know exactly what a hot button issue now is because what they got all this stuff in front of them. With this new system
that's
with
what-
algorithms, they know exactly what we're all talking about, what we're buying, where we're going. They track all this stuff. They know exactly what they
But
want.
there's certain
Not
bands that are-
authentic.
There's certain bands that have already always done that without
yeah,
an
like, come on.
algorithm.
Like Bruce
There
Springsteen
was
wrote
no
this.
listen. Bruce Springsteen didn't have an algorithm in the 80s, and he talked about stuff. He talked
Yeah.
about the Vietnam War. U2 didn't have an algorithm in the 80s. Either did fucking Rage Against the Machine, didn't have no fucking algorithm. They are being their authentic self. The only thing I have problems with these big bands, make the tickets affordable for the people who love you and not just the people sitting there just to take selfies.
Right. Because these people, these bands that we're talking about now, they've been writing about politics since the very beginning.
Yes.
This isn't new.
Another issue is that people are freaking lemmings and minions. Oh, well, Bruce Springsteen said that, so I have to think exactly what he
No,
said.
that's what they tell
Nobody
you.
wants to think for themselves. Try
That's what they
this. Watch the news. Don't go to the comment section. Don't go to social media, and then decide for yourself. I used to like it when Walter Cronkite would say, and that is the news. How about news? Just report the news instead of
All
what
right.
they do is they report the news, and then 5 minutes later, like they get two people to discuss it, and then the moderator will be kind of like, well, they'll lean a
Oh,
certain
yeah,
way.
that's not the news, Mark.
That's not the way it should be. Let the
Well,
people think for themselves. But you know what? It's too late.
Just read me the
Honestly,
daily news
too
and let
late.
me make my own decision. I
I'll
agree with
say,
it.
I'll
Yeah,
say
honestly, I think it's too late because we now
It's
what we're
not
doing
too
is
late because we
it
can
is
fight
too
for
late
that.
because people go to
No.
social media to see what people think, and then they
I'll-
decide for themselves.
And
I'll-
90% of social media news stories are fake.
I'll say
Everything
this.
Well,
that
well,
you're
well, but
saying,
hang on. I don't know about that. I don't know if it's
Ev-
90%.
everything that you're saying right now, Enrico, I've already read online. Everything you're saying, I've read on other posts.
I'll say this.
It's nothing new.
Just like my drinking, when I was drinking alcohol, every time I bought a ticket to go see a band, nobody ever had a gun to my head. I bought that ticket, I paid the money, I went to the show because I wanted to go see it. Just like a drink. Every drink I ever took, nobody had put a gun to my head to drink that drink. I did it on my own fruition. That's the American way. You do it because you want to.
And that's awesome. Mooger, let's move on to another story.
Hey, have you guys heard Arch Enemy finally landed and announced their new singer?
Yeah.
Replaced
your
Elisa, and her name is Lauren Hart from a band called Once Human. So I had a chance to check the one song out, the video.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I like it. What anybody else have any thoughts on
I
this?
thought, like Jerry said, like he said in her Snapchat, she's hot and she's got nice boobs. But her voice is just
I think his wording was she's stacked.
she's stacked. Yeah. I said, I always make fun of Jerry because when we talk about women artists, the first thing he says is about the boobs, about their looks, and then he talks about the music. Third. I always get on him about that.
But he's approved of the looks, man. Have any of you guys else even care about it, or do you guys?
Oh, I
are you a
loved
fan
it,
of the
dude.
band?
I love Arch Enemy.
I heard it for like 5 seconds till she
Oh.
started singing.
uh,
Not even singing. It was fucking, I don't know what the fuck was
it's guttural
coming out of
vocals.
her mouth, but it wasn't singing, I tell you that. Not
Well-
like the guy we're going to talk about.
They go, "Roar," and then she comes down. It's like what all the
You
shit.
know what all that shit sounds like? And still, it sounds like when I stub my toe at the end of my bed coming around the corner to go to the bathroom, and that's the noise I make.
Yeah, if it's death metal, I can't get into it.
It's not death metal. It's Butcher Babies. It's not death metal. They don't have a title you can't read on their fucking album cover.
No, it's like actually kind of very melodic power metal kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Well, I don't
and
like
then
power
and
metal.
then you just throw in some Cookie Monster
And the music
vocals,
was-
some clean
the music was
vocals.
good.
with the Cookie Monster gargle.
The
But
music
she
was
has
good,
Cookie.
but-
It's like Phil and Samo. He did the Cookie Monster vocals, but then he brought it down.
But these,
Right.
these
I
these
fault
women that-
nobody for being particular about vocals. That's my razor's edge sometimes
Me
on
too.
on a band. And it's like their vocal could just hit me wrong, man. If you don't like Cookie Monster, you're not gonna ever convince anybody. Yeah, man, this is really what she's doing. No, fuck it. They don't like Cookie Monster. They don't like Cookie Monster.
King Diamond.
And I personally
I'd rather
some I
Diamond-
love, some I can't
King
stand.
Diamond
so.
was more operatic, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his voice was too. My ears hurt.
Yeah. Like
I don't think
my
Phil was
dog's
that
ears
much of
hurt
a
when he
Cookie
hit.
Monster.
Well, he went, "Roar," and then he brought it down like on Cemetery Gates and stuff. I
Right.
like it when they go Cookie. They could do Cookie Monster, but if the whole song is Cookie Monster, I can't get into it. But when they
And it's not even
butcher,
Cookie Monster. It's guttural. It's
yeah, like the butcher
guttural.
babies
And it's
would.
like, that's not singing.
But they go back and forth. They don't have the whole song like that. They have
Still,
layers to it.
I want to hear the whole song, not 90% of it, 80% of it. I want to hear the whole song. And
I like Arch and Me. They've always
just
done
not
that,
into
and
it.
that's what they are. And I like it.
Hey, I first got into that kind of screamo clean stuff with Kill Switch and Gage. They had a really good record called Alive or Just Breathing. And I heard that was the first time I'd ever heard that Cookie Monster, clean, Cookie Monster, And man, from there it was Shadows Fall and Hatebreed and Lamb of God. And, I just.
Ooh, I don't like Lamb of God or Hatebreed though.
I do like Hate Breed.
Absolutely, man.
I do like Hate Breed.
I like
No,
the
but I mean, the music on that was good, very good.
well,
and-
usually on death metal, the music is good, and then the vocals come in. I'm out.
It's that part about bands like Merciful Fate, King Diamond, these guys. The musicianship is fucking incredible
Yep.
until the singing starts.
Right.
And then, well, not even singing. It's fucking. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck it is. Then it's like turns me right off. I'm done. See ya. Sorry.
Exactly. And that's the thing about vocals, man, especially the Cookie Monster style. Because even if you really like brutal heavy metal, you may not like that Cookie Monster, man. You'd rather hear somebody singing over that. Or at least even like a Hetfield doesn't really sing, at least back in the day. He just kind of growled over it. But something like that. I get it, man. I completely get it.
What
So-
else we got,
Hey.
Mooger?
Well, so that was, the whole arch enemy thing. It's finally at rest. We've got a singer. We know who she is. So yeah,
Until
the band,
we don't.
the 90s band live. I mean, they were big in the 90s.
Yep.
I guess the lead singer kind of came back, fired the rest of the band, tried taking the name on his own, and now the corporation known as the band Live has put a cease and desist, so he can no longer tour under the Live banner. I don't know. Did you guys dig Live at all?
I love live throwing
I didn't mind that
coppers.
one song, the hit, whatever.
But the
fuck it-
thing is, when you think of live, who do you think of?
The lead
Him?
singer.
Ed.
Ed Kowalczyk.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh,
the
who
other
owns
members
the
of
name?
the
Who
band.
owns the name, the rights? Right.
I don't know the name, the other members.
No,
of that
no.
band.
Do you know who owns it, or they still?
It's a corporation with Ed and the original members of Live. They have a corporation. It's like
So are there two versions, or is like him
no,
and-
they own they all have a thing, and they agreed in 2013 not to tour as Live. So they had the agreement, and Ed broke it. So I agree they should throw him to the fire. But the thing is, Ed is Live. He wrote all that shit. That's just
This
me.
music. It is.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
An
matter who
agreement
wrote
is an
it.
agreement.
It matters what is on the contract.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
they signed a contract, so he fucked up.
As bands get really big and they get bigger and get bigger, they get lawyers and managers, they incorporate it, which means everyone's got a say. You're a shareholder, you're a board member. So from that point on, even if they disband as a band, if they don't dissolve that corporation, it's still intact and everyone still has a say.
Mhm.
So for Ed
Oh, yeah.
to kind of take off, I get it, but he should say his name, the music of Live or something,
Well-
Well, he did that years ago. He said Ed Kowalczyk, the voice of Live, or something.
For an example, Deep Purple. All right.
Right.
When they first started out, they didn't have Ian Gillan as a singer.
Right.
That's my
So
one.
all the members of Deep Purple signed the contract. They were Deep Purple. Ian Gillan comes in, and Roger
too.
Glover comes in, and David Coverdale later on comes in.
That's number 3.
They're all paid. They're all paid employees.
I always like it how they call themselves Mach 3.
But they're all paid employees. The original members are still the original members. So they're still Deep Purple. And, like today, it's been, 50 years that Deep Purple has been a band? Them still original members are getting paid as Deep Purple.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you say that. Like, what would have happened, say, that was today? Say Deep Purple was touring, they were writing albums, and Richie Blackmore says one day, you know what? I think I'm done with Deep Purple. And then he goes off into the sunset, and all of a sudden Deep Purple's like, okay, let's grab our new guitar player. And then all of a sudden Richie Blackmore goes, hey, oh no, hold on, you're not Deep Purple, I'm Deep Purple.
Well, then, that's not the case. Like if
he did his own thing, he became
said,
Richie Blackmore's Rainbow.
But if Richie Blackmore said, I don't want this guitarist in the band, he can still be outvoted by the other members.
Well, unless he said I came up with the name and trademark of Deep Purple, he could try to argue that.
Fine,
because that's what happened with Queensryche and Rat had legal issues. Dokken wanted to continue the name,
but he can still get outvoted by the other members, the original members of the band, as long as they're alive, of course. But the thing is, Richie Blackmore and all the rest of them, and there was one guy that was on one album from Deep Purple, and I forget who, what he played or whatever, but he was on the album that had the hit Hush.
Yeah.
He's still getting paid from Deep Purple.
No,
he's not. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I don't know. That's down my pay grade.
No, wait. I think it was in 1978 when Deep Purple wasn't doing anything. He went out as Deep Purple, and Deep Purple sued him and won. They took away all of his royalties.
He's not up until 78.
Yeah,
he was still getting paid
until
to sit home and do absolutely nothing. That's, hey.
Was that Rob Evans?
I forget the guy's name.
Rob Evans, yeah.
I just know one of them was still getting paid and he hadn't been on a Deep Purple album in 10, 15 years.
Dude, that is so common in the business. People like leaving a band, but the contract stated they're an equal member, and so they do nothing, and they still get a residual check from the band just for sitting at home and being part of the legacy.
Aerosmith, when Brad Whitford and Joe Perry left the band, they were still getting paid by Aerosmith, even though they had Dufay and Crespo.
Bunny Carlos still gets paid by contract.
Bunny Carlos still gets paid by contract. He sued him.
Yeah, he won. But man, let's get this going, Mooger. Let's talk about the Steve Perry Journey thing, and let's move on.
Yeah, that was my next note, man.
Cool.
It's the Steve Perry. He just put it gently to rest, as he put it. The rumor that he's going to rejoin Journey is not true. He has said this, by the way, since resurfacing a few years ago, is not going to get together with Journey, period. And I think he made a good point of it today. What do you guys think about that? Steve
Who
Perry.
cares? They're all in their 70s.
Yeah, I don't want to see a 70-year-old.
I still saw people posting that he was going to rejoin Journey, even though
I posted that, and then I saw Steve Perry post his thing. And I applaud Steve Perry for nipping that in the bud, not letting it go on for weeks. He nipped it the same day. He said, hey, we made great music together. I am not rejoining Journey, and I loved it. That's cool. Arnell, stop fucking with Arnell. That guy is amazing.
Neil Sean hates Steve Perry, and Steve Perry hates Neil Sean.
Neil Sean loves
Neil
Steve
Sean
Perry.
and Jonathan Cain don't get along either.
No, they don't. They've been fighting behind the scenes forever.
They got to stop this crap. I mean, the dudes
and
are
every one of them's in their fucking 70s now, for Christ's sakes. Go to the home and retire.
Who wants to hear a song from 1982?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's
Me!
hear "Don't Stop Believing" one more time.
I want to hear
guys.
Stone in Love a million times. There you go.
Hey guys, have y'all ever heard of the song "Open Arms"?
Yeah, because I want to hear "Faithfully" again.
I want to hear the last album Journey put out with Arnett was fucking amazing.
Yeah, but they're not going to play that live. Why?
They need to fucking play that shit live. I'm
Who
tired
wants
of
to hear
I'm tired of bands
What's the
making
song
new
I
albums
heard
and
that was-
fucking
not playing
playing the hits and not or play one song from the new album. Fuck that shit. I am still love when bands make new albums and they promote it. And they don't do that shit anymore and it pisses me off. I love fucking Styx. They played 2 songs off Crash the Crown when I saw them. They played 2 songs off of Mission to Mars. It's like, goddamn, there's so many great songs off that album.
Yeah, and they still play
But
Renegade.
these fucking fans just want to hear the fucking hits. You're not real fans of the band, so go the fuck away.
I have no
Real
problem
fans
with
of
the
the band
band.
want to hear the new shit.
Well,
I
you
have
don't
no
want to
problem
be in a
with the
band
band, like
and have that happen.
like sprinkling in like some songs from the new record is awesome.
Yeah.
Don't I had a problem with Iron Maiden like hitting a tour one time and all they played is a brand new record.
But the thing is, they went on a greatest hits tour after that.
I know.
They tell you, hey,
they're
if you
good,
want to hear
but-
the hits, we will come back and play the hits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
there
are
are a
not.
lot of
We are
bands,
not. We
So
are not
buy
a
another
band.
ticket.
and there are a lot of bands I would love to hear them play their entire new album in its entirety. That wasn't one of them, but that's okay. I saw Styx a number of years ago, but it was like a Journey Styx co-headline, and to Styx credit, they played probably 4 or 5 songs off of their new album at that time, and it was like great.
I think the
I
last
still got
time
to
they
hear the
did,
hits, and I got to hear 4 or 5
I
new
think the
songs.
last time they did that was Cyclorama, but they haven't done that since.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a cover band playing a bar, and they play all the hits at the time, but every once in a while they'll throw in an original.
Yeah.
And
But the thing is,
Good for them.
we're old guys. We saw concerts when we saw a band going out on a new album. They played most of that and sprinkled in the rest, like the old stuff here and there. But the thing is, they promoted the new album. Now it's like, let's play the greatest hits and let's play 2 songs off the new album. I
That's
don't like
because-
this shit.
that's because
When you're a
audiences
legacy
nowadays
band,
don't
that's
give
the
a
way
fuck.
it's gonna go.
I don't like it.
Well,
On Black Spinner, just a couple of days ago, we had this guy. His name is Chris Allo, and he's a big Black Sabbath fan, big Sabbath historian. And he was saying that if you look at Black Sabbath tours, every time they started, they would have like 4 or 5 songs from the new album. But as the tour goes on, they can see the crowd's not into it. They want to hear the hits. So as the tours go on, these bands start to play the hits because no one's interested in the album. And that's how bands dwarf into playing the hits. And now we're seeing these older bands that are just playing the hit songs. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to bring out anything new. You want to hear something new, you got to go see new bands and hear them promote their new album.
I agree with that. But the thing is,
if you want to hear something new, you actually got to buy the album that they put out. So
Yeah.
I mean, if an album sells 100 million copies, they're going to play that album.
But the
No,
thing
absolutely.
is, when I went and saw REO Speedwagon, it was like Wheels are Turning, my first tour. They played most of that album, and then they brought in like High Infidelity, some old 70s stuff. They mixed it up, and it was cool. The thing is, now when a band goes out and plays the new album, you hear 1 or 2 songs now, and they move on to the hits. And that's because the fans don't care about their new music, and that pisses me off. That's about it.
Now,
Well,
now-
also,
but there's a
also-
balance to that, Mark, because yes, like say Cheap Trick released something brand new and we're out on tour and they only usually get 30 to 45
Unless
minutes
you see
anyway,
them
'cause
headline.
they very rarely do. And So, say something like that. Well, yeah, they're a legacy band at this point. Legacy bands putting out brand new music is amazing. I love it. But the fact is, they're a legacy band. They've got generations of fans.
Mm.
They've got people that are they just know the hits. They don't even know what they look like. They could care less. They just show up, boom. And then they're hearing the music.
Yep.
That's the curse of a legacy band or the blessing of a
The
legacy
thing
band.
is, what I like about Journey, they're gonna play like their new tour. They ain't coming to California yet or to LA. They are gonna do a 3 hour set where they're gonna put in all the deep tracks from the old
Yeah,
stuff.
but not every band can do that.
I wish
Well,
all bands could do that.
that's what I was just going to say. Is back in the day, you had 3 hour, 3.5 hour tours, shows,
Yeah.
and they didn't think nothing of it. It was, we're here to play, and that's what we're going to do. Nowadays, it's, man, if you get a band out there for 2 hours,
Absolutely. You're
that's
right.
pushing it.
It's pretty much, the headline, your openers are going to do anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. If that, you got to switch over, maybe another band, 30 to 40 minutes, switch over. Then you've got the main act for 90 minutes, man.
That's
It's
why I
almost
like
to
what
the
that's
minute.
why I like what Journey is doing. They ain't gonna have any opening bands. They're gonna do 3.5 hours. And I wish they would come to my area. I would love to see that shit. And the thing is, Rush did that after they got rid of the opening acts, and that was amazing. And they played a lot of deep tracks, and that was cool. As real music fans of a band, we don't want to hear the hits all the time. It's like Aerosmith. They got caught in the hits in America, but when they go to other countries, they want to hear the fucking Kings and Queens and
because they're
all the
given more
deep
time.
tracks, you know. But in
You know,
America, they want to hear I don't want to miss a thing, you know.
yeah, because it's like a porn movie.
I don't
People
watch
ask why
porn.
doesn't a porn movie have more of a plot?
I
You
don't
want to
know.
watch a fucking plot in a porn movie.
Well,
You
when you're
want
looking
you
at
want to
boobs
get in
shaking,
there and
That's a
get what
great
you
analogy,
want.
Tim. They're just wanting that ear candy, that instant
Exactly.
gratification,
You
the
want to
hits.
get what you want
he
and
And
get
didn't
gone.
quit it, right? He didn't quit it, right? All
I
right,
don't know.
Mooger, do we have any more stories or we go into what we're doing?
Yeah, I was going to do just one more. Um, the fact of Dave Mustaine talk or David Ellefson kind of commented that like Dave Mustaine shouldn't, be re-recording the old Metallica stuff. Specifically, I think No Life Till Leather.
They
Um,
said they recorded that, they didn't release it though.
okay, so there's a little hoo-ha about that, but Dave's Dave. Both Daves are Dave. So we'll move on from there. Mark,
But
you
but
take
but one point I do agree with David. There was no court charges against Ellison, but Dave Mustaine said, "I'm going to fire you because I don't like you." Uh,
What else is new?
yeah.
If you go to work for Dave Mustaine, if you join his band and you have a dressing room, you put your name tag on that door in that dressing room in Velcro. Because
That was my drunk show on PS. I got a book. All right. Sorry.
It's a great book.
It's a great
and if
book.
I
I
was
still have it.
if I was David Ellison, I wouldn't even be talking about Megadeth. I'd be talking about my new band.
But the thing is, like I've always said with Sammy and stuff, they bring up the old bands in
Oh,
interviews.
of course they did. Well,
Yeah,
Sammy brings up Van Halen.
not really.
Yeah, he
The
does.
interview, the
Constantly.
people interview him, they bring him to that always.
Oh, please. He's the first one. He doesn't even say, "Hi, I'm
No,
Sammy." It's, "Hi, I was in Van Halen."
no, he
it.
doesn't say that. But Mooger, let's move on, man.
All right, you were moving on. I gave you my last story, so
There you go. Well, get into what we're doing. What are we doing, man?
all right, we're just gonna go through the Dio solo albums. Nope, nothing live. We're just gonna do studio. Um, if you want to drop in the live, I don't give a shit.
I don't.
But anyway, So I guess it's been a while since I've done one of these discography dives. So I guess we just like I'm gonna mention the record and we all go around the horn. Sounds good to me. Kids, don't try this at home. Um, so yeah, man. So what's your history with Dio? Who like Mark Daly. Yes, sir.
Dio, I first heard Dio. I remember watching the movie Heavy Metal, and I heard the song "My Rules." I was like, "Wow, that's some kick-ass vocals right there." You know that Dio's voice grabs you, and as soon as Holy by the time I saw Heavy Metal, Dio was actually on his own, so I started off the discography right away, like the Holy Diver, Last Line, Sacred Heart, and finally saw him on tour with the Sacred Heart tour. So great live act. Always an ultimate performer.
How was that tour?
It was
The
awesome.
Sacred.
I
Yeah.
know people say like, oh, I rather just speak about more about the music, but Dio is a good blend of the music with the production and the
Yep,
visual effects of
theatrics.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Andy, what's your history with Dio?
Oh, I was a young kid watching MTV, and the Last in Line video came out, and that was the title track to the second album. And I was always mesmerized as a kid with Murray, the my mascot on Dio. I always thought that
Sorry.
was like really cool. So
Yeah.
I just started listening to him because of his videos, and then from there I started listening to his cassettes and stuff like that. So, and then it wasn't until a little bit later on that I found out that he was in Black Sabbath. I was like, oh, cool. I was already in high school then. So, you know, I'm a I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his. Um, I'll reserve big fan for someone else, but I'm a fan of his. I like Dio. I think he's got great pipes. He's a really good songwriter.
Mhm.
His theatrical is fantastic. I've seen him at least 5 times. There was a little while there that he was coming down to Houston in the early 2000s, right before his death, like almost every year. And my cousin and I will go see him. I've seen him solo. I've seen him with Heaven and Hell. In fact, I forgot I'd seen Heaven and Hell. I was reminded that I saw them like a couple of months ago. I was like, really? I don't remember that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Dio. I like him. I like him a lot.
Awesome. Tim.
First time I ever heard of Dio was in the band Elf.
Mm.
My
Wow.
brother bought that because I think they only did like one or two albums, and he brought home one of the albums. I think it was the first one, and I heard this guy, and I'm like, hey, he's pretty good. His music sucked, but hey, he's
Cool.
pretty good. And then I found out that he joined Rainbow with the rest of Elf, except for Blackmore. And I heard that first album and I was hooked. I'm like, yeah, yes. And, and then he came out with another one and I was like, absolutely. And then I found out he left Rainbow and then he went to Sabbath. And then Heaven and Hell came out, which is one of the greatest fucking albums ever made. And I was just like, yeah, this guy he's the real deal.
Yeah.
I always thought he had a great voice, always. But then I started getting into more, what he did on stage and, stuff like that, and I was just like, this guy is the greatest rock and roll singer I've ever heard. And I have not lost that opinion. I still
That's
say
awesome.
he's the greatest rock and roll singer I've ever heard in my entire life.
And you're not going to get a whole lot of argument against that, Tim. I mean, love him or hate him, you
You'd be
cannot deny he
surprised.
has an
You'd be
amazing
surprised.
voice.
It's either like, because I'll say Ronnie James Dio, best singer that ever took a rock and roll stage. And people will say Robert Plant, or people will say Ian Gillan, or people will say this guy, that guy. But I stand by my opinion, And all I got to do is put on Heaven and Hell, and There you go.
Yes,
And you know,
Mark.
then he went solo and he came out with Holy Diver,
Oh, yeah.
which, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, is the greatest debut album by any rock and roll band. Period.
Well, you just gave your opinion. We haven't got there yet. But
You know,
Mark,
and then,
which Mark, Mooger?
Well, I've already went the other Mark,
Yeah.
so you're the other Mark.
Oh, I'm the other Mark. Oh, cool.
You're the other Mark.
Goddamn. I got into Dio on Heaven and Hell because my people at In-N-Out Burger showed me that album, and I go, my God, what a fucking voice. But my favorite singer of all time is Lou Gramm. He's got a new album coming out, by the way. But it might be Timeline with Lou Gramm on that, but Dio is right there with him. It's like, my God, they got manly voices, both of them. They both sound like a fucking strong, fucking rural, fucking heterosexual man. I just love Lou Gramm and Dio. My
Wow,
God.
that was the most homosexual way you can say that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But fucking Dio, man. And then I just got in him. I go, man, what was I missing my whole life? This guy rules. I remember playing Holy Diver from one of my friends. They go, that's devil music. And I go, you know what? Fuck you. Get out of my car.
Tuck and roll.
And that's it. But you're not listening to the lyrics if you think that's devil music. It's fucking amazing. I love it.
Yeah, man. I got into it watching MTV as a kid, you know. Never had it myself, but I'd go over to friends' houses and they'd have MTV on, and yeah, the Last in Line video, I was like, holy smokes, that's awesome. Yeah, I was in fourth grade or third grade, you know. Of course it looked awesome. Cheesy as shit now, but
yeah.
and then like I had older brothers and sisters who had older friends, and you know, if I'd be hanging around them, I heard a lot of like Dio solo, but really the first Dio I remember was Man on the Silver Mountain.
Yeah.
And they played it all over our rock radio in Fort Wayne. So that's where I really heard him. And then I got into the solo material. And then I went back and realized he did 2 records with Sabbath. So that was kind of my timeline, kind of bounced around a little bit.
4.
But good
4
stuff,
records.
man.
He did 4 records with Sabbath.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
You did 3. Heaven and Hell was
okay.
really solid.
Yeah,
Humanizer
Dehumanizer
and Live
and
One.
you know.
Yeah, at the time I realized he was in Sabbath. It was just Heaven and Hell and modules. So that's where I went with that. But you're right. You are correct. So yeah, man.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, and by the way, just a passing. Does anybody know, without looking it up, where Ronnie James Dio was born?
No.
I
New
think he's
Jersey,
born in shit.
I know that he was a New Yorker, but hold on.
That's where he was raised, but he's probably wasn't born there.
Nope. He was born and raised in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
East Coast.
My state. Thank you very much.
Nice. New Hampshire. That's right. They have that in his hometown. It's in New Hampshire. You're right.
Mhm.
They have that street, Dio Way or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right.
I'm
Are
proud
we
of that.
ready to start? Are we ready to start?
Yes.
That is really cool.
Everybody in.
I didn't know he was from New Hampshire.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Anyway, Holy Diver. I'm just gonna go on that one. Freaking classic masterpiece. You can't mess. Don't mess with that one. That it's just perfection, from the album art to the songs to the recording. Mark's got it displayed up there. Yeah, man.
Like I said, the greatest debut album of any rock and roll band ever.
Well, go with that.
far as
Go with
I'm
that, Tim.
concerned.
Tell us what you think about it, buddy.
From the opening riff to the closing riff, it's just mind-blowing. And it proved that at one point in time, Vivian Campbell could play guitar.
Right.
No, it's just, it's devastating. You stand up and shout.
Mm.
Like, you can go down the whole list. Even a tune like Caught in the Middle, which
Oh,
nobody talks about from this album, is fucking amazing.
So good.
It's a little
Yep.
poppy-ish, but it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like, yeah, even the weakest song on that record, and there isn't one, but even the weakest song would be the best song on anybody else's record. I mean, it's so good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Andy, what do you think about Holy Diver?
Oh man, Holy Diver is a fantastic album. It's one of those hard rock classic albums. I mean, that's all there is to it. When you mention Holy Diver, you know that it was a statement album, and it really was. And that band was hot, man. They were playing. They played that album so well.
Mhm.
It was a really good album, and you're so right about Campbell. It's just hard to see them just playing Clark parts now, But
Mhm.
that's what he chose to do. But I'm
Yep.
glad that we have this on his years with Dio.
Listen to the Lou Gramm album he did,
Okay.
You mean Shadow King,
Shadow King.
which wasn't a
Great.
Lou Gramm album. He was on it, but
Yeah, but it's a great fucking leads on that shit. It's
yeah, that was a good album. That's a very good
Oh,
album, actually.
Very-
Last in Line, the first two albums are great too. With
yeah.
Vivian.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Mark, what do you think about Holy Diver?
Mr. Taylor or myself?
Just call him Dolly and call me
No,
Mark.
no, gotta go with
Call him Enrico.
what do we call it? Yeah, call me Enrico. Yeah, that's why.
Call him Enrico. So I know
Enrico.
that.
Enrico
Just for tonight.
Suave.
So I'll just go ahead. So with Holy Diver, it's all built around, for me, the title track, and all the other songs are just, for me, they're great, but that title track, it really could have been like a Black Sabbath song, I thought, because with Heaven and Hell, you had that gallop that, well, they kind of incorporated that in the main riff, and that gave I thought that gave that opening riff more life by including that rhythm into the main riffs. But that's an excellent album. It's his best album.
Nice. Okay, Mark. Not that Mark, you Mark.
Oh God, what a great album. It's like what a great album. I got into them. I got into Dio with Heaven and Hell because my friends at In-N-Out Burger played that in my car. But I was like, oh, this guy has an amazing voice. What was I missing? Why wasn't I listening to him sooner? Because I thought he was of the devil? God damn, no. Black Sabbath. The reason I got into Black Sabbath was because of Dio. I went back and listened to the Ozzy stuff. And Ozzy I got into because I heard Dio. Because I wanted to hear what Ozzy sounded like with Sabbath. And then No More Tears just blew me away. So I'm just saying, without Dio, I wouldn't have liked Ozzy. Just saying that right here. I've said that before, I think. This is an amazing debut album, one of the greatest of all time.
No argument there, man. Moves us to last in line. Tim, what did you think about the sophomore effort from Dio?
There was no sophomore slump, that's for goddamn sure.
Right?
This album came out because, I mean, I don't want. How am I going to put this? I don't normally use the word perfect when it comes to music, but these first two Dio albums, if they're not perfect, they're so fucking damn close, it's not even funny.
Amen.
And
Amen.
he kept the same band together, which helps. And Vivian's still playing his fucking ass off. But Dio also gave him the freedom to play his ass off. He
Yes, he
wasn't,
did.
Dio was never like the taskmaster, like you have to play it exactly like this. And this note is wrong. You have to play this note here. He was more of a, I got an idea.
Right.
And let him work with any member of his band, work with it. And Dio was a little different back then from most bands because, like I say, their debut album is the greatest debut album I ever heard. But it's not like they were a bunch of 18-year-olds that got together in a band and made an album. Like Guns N' Roses or something like that.
They're all seasoned.
Yeah, they were all seasoned professional musicians that had been in the studio before with other bands, so they knew what they were doing when they went in. They didn't go in and go, "What's that?" Or "What's that?" Or, "Can I play that? Can I play now?" Or, they went in very professional. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted to do. And they did it. You can't get any better than that. I mean, it doesn't sound like anybody was going, should I play this note or that note? Or, do you want this pick slide here or do you want it there? Or they knew when they went in exactly what they were doing, and it sounded it.
And there was a good game plan because, hey, this is our budget. This is our timeline. This is what we're looking to do. And everybody just kind of stepped up, got in line, got it done, wrote beautiful music, very creative. And they had a short time to do it. So they knew what they had to do. But they had a plan.
The lyrics were awesome. The music was awesome. The songs were incredible from them first two albums. I mean, incredible. And
there's just two names in the span that you got to think bring the heaviness, and that's Vinny and Jimmy. Yep. Holy smokes, man! That bottom end, that rhythm section, that heaviness is so epic, man.
In any band that Jimmy Bain has ever been in, he has always been the secret weapon.
Oh, hell yeah, man! Rest in peace.
This was a perfect example. Because Vivian Campbell, by then, he'd gotten a name, and he kind of got full of himself a little bit, but he got a name, so everybody knew Viv Campbell. Everybody knew Vinny Appice because he's Carmine's brother.
Right.
But he'd been in Sabbath. He had been, with the Dio for the first album. He knew what he was doing, and he's a damn good drummer. I mean, he's fucking awesome drummer.
So good.
But he knew what he was doing. Everybody, they all paired each perfectly. Dio knew what he was doing when he put that band together. He weren't fucking around. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Vivian would have been the greenest out of the bunch because all of the other guys have been in the business a good amount of time.
Yes.
So
they'd all had success in other bands.
And they know how it goes. They know what the budget is in the studio. They know how to work the studio, get in, get the best time, get the best engineer, get out.
That's what I'm saying. Professionals. They just weren't rank amateurs. They're coming like Aerosmith when they went in the studio for their debut album.
And that, sir, is how you end up with Holy Diver and Last in Line, because you had a professional bunch who knew what the fuck they were doing. And they all stepped up and got it done. So you don't get two albums that perfect without that.
So when I say that, like, their debut is the greatest debut album I had ever heard and still have ever heard, it's kind of a cheat kind of a thing, because these weren't a bunch of greenhorns coming in making their first album.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But this was the first Dio album. But they all grew their roots in other bands on other albums, which was perfect.
Yep.
And
I agree, man.
Dio, he knew exactly what he was doing when he put that band together. He knew exactly what he wanted when they went into the studio, and he was the leader. Make no mistake about it. There was no.
And you have to have one. I'm sorry, people. It can always be a democracy. You have to have somebody.
No, because you gotta have his name is on the marquee, and he understands that. He understands his name is right there, Dio.
Yep.
Whether it's a success or a failure, that's his name.
It's his name. Right. Andy, what did you think about Last in Line?
Oh man, it started off great, but it really tailed off on side two. It's always tailed off for me. Man, it's so stacked heavy in the front part of side one. It's almost a carbon copy to Holy Diver, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that they really started to get a little thin on side two. It's still good, but not as good as side one and not as good as Holy Diver.
Maybe they could have split the songs up a little bit better. I agree, kind of agree with that. But I like all the songs on that album.
Yeah. Daly, what's your take on Last in Line?
Fantastic follow-up. Really solid. Also, Dio was not one to just sit around and stay too, because that was back to back to back. Those were albums 83, Holy Diver, 84, Last in Line, 85, Sacred Heart. Those were 3 years in a row. Imagine having that today when your favorite band was releasing 3 solid studio albums in a row. You're like, oh, feed me more, please. That's when we were kids and we were just being treated as all this fantastic music. That's what I really enjoy about Dio, because he did not want to sit around for too long. It was like, okay, studio tour, and then maybe like take a short time off, or maybe the songs were being written on the road in jam sessions before shows. But that definitely helps when if you want to get a career going. That's what he wanted to do with that band, is like reach the pinnacle, and that was the time to do it. 80s were hot for that type of music, so I love that Last Line.
Awesome. Mark, what did you think of Last in Line?
I agree with Andy. It's kind of top heavy, but the thing is, if they would have split the songs up for side one and side two, it would have been a perfect album, because I love all the songs on that album. It just kind of tapers off on side two. They could have like blah blah blah, put the song blah blah.
Yeah.
They could have like put it better in track order. If it was a better, that'd be a good podcast. Let's like make the Last in Line a better album. Track
Oh, there's so many we would all restructure, but I get it.
restructure.
It was they're trying to push like the hits, so let's put that all on side one, and we'll just kind of put the album tracks on side two. No one flips a record over anyway, It's a
I
different
do.
time,
I do too.
so
Oh yeah.
And it was yeah.
I mean it's very, very, very solid second record, which leads us like Daly was talking about. It was like, boom, you've got 83, you've got Holy Diver, 84, you got Last in Line, 85, you got Sacred Heart. Bam, bam, bam. Perfect trifecta of almost perfect records. I'll go with Sacred Heart. My thoughts of that was when I really started noticing Dio for myself as a kid, and borrowing the album or the cassette or whatever I had to do from friends. It was all very good. He's just getting better. I mean, the first 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's nothing, in my opinion, not to like about Sacred Heart. What do you think, Tim? What was your thoughts on Sacred Heart?
Sacred Heart, that was when, like, Sacred Heart is another rock solid album, but I think it's like a half a notch down from Last in Line and Holy Diver. Like, when the track that starts it off, King of Rock and Roll, is one of the best Dio songs ever. Period. End of story. But you go into the next one, which is Sacred Heart, and it's a little slow, and you get tunes like Shoot Shoot, which are, what the fuck was he singing about? And it was hit or miss, mostly hit, but every once in a while miss.
Well, maybe it's
But this is back when Viv and Dio weren't seeing eye to eye with each other, and Viv finally got shit canned. And like I said, back, Last in Line, Viv was getting a little big in the head. And it's like Dio had to remind him that I'm the boss.
Yeah, your name's not on the marquee, buddy.
Yeah, I'm the boss. And not only am I on the boss, as Dio said in an interview, he gave Viv a career,
He did.
which he's still
Without a
living
doubt.
off of,
Yeah.
which he's still living off from today.
Hard to say. Hard to say how the business went, but yeah, there's all sorts of stories going around, his, hers, the truth,
Yeah.
on what happened
But
with
I mean,
Viv,
but Dio's always stuck by that throughout.
yeah.
That
It-
hey, I gave him a career and he fucked it up. So
like I guess the original handshake agreement, and that's probably the problem with a handshake agreement, was like, hey, y'all gonna start out like at this salary as hired hands until we start really gaining steam, then we'll incorporate it as a band. Never happened. And I think that just caused a lot of contention.
That makes sense when you're starting off. But eventually, you got to put it in writing. You gotta,
exactly. Don't whine when that doesn't hold water, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know who fucked who over or what.
Yeah, it's
I don't
sad.
really care. The music is what matters to me. And Sacred Heart was a very, very rock solid album, but still Last in Line and Holy Diver was that much better.
I think the like you said, Sacred Heart era, they started to see the cracks were starting to form a little bit. And that probably did suffer a little bit in the songwriting, even though the production, honestly, most of the songwriting is just solid, top notch. I thought it was a great sounding record. I don't think it sounded dated to 85 at all. I think it did have a little bit more keyboard heavy mix, but still nothing crazy. It wasn't like you were listening to Heart or anything like that. I mean, it was still definitely heavy. It had a great sound to it. Daly, what was your thoughts? You said you saw the Sacred Heart tour. Mark.
Daly, Enrico.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, that was my turn. Yeah, I saw the Sacred Heart tour, and
so what did you think about the album and the tour and the whole deal?
Well, the thing is, with the Sacred Heart tour, what I remember was that was a promise that Dio was going to give the band, that they were going to start like being like more like partners and being more financially stable by Sacred Heart. And then Dio decided to up the production, and the stage got bigger and the production, obviously there was more cost involved. And then the band's like, okay, what the heck? I thought this was kind of be like we're gonna see the revenues. We were gonna get the reward basically after 3 straight albums. And Dio was like, well, unfortunately I can't do that. And that kind of like that was the first crack in the armor. But with the album though, like I said, I liked it. It's not as good as Last Line of Holy Diver, but I enjoy it. I actually enjoy the non-single songs probably more than anything else. Actually, there's a couple of songs you just got to revisit, like Another Line, like The Beat of a Heart, and Just Another Day. Those are solid songs. People were crazy about the single, like Rock and Roll Children. The song was okay, but that's kind of like what that basically led to Vivian Campbell's release by the next year, because they had already brought in Craig Goldie. It was basically the Sacred Heart Part 2 tour, and they also did an intermission off of that too. So that's what I think about Sacred Heart.
Andy, do you any thoughts on Sacred Heart?
Yeah, Sacred Heart. First of all, I was not a fan of the album cover of Sacred Heart. It just didn't fit in with what he was going for, or what he was doing before. And I thought the album was just okay. After the first 2, I think this was an album that was kind of mailed in, if you know what I mean. It was just to put a product out. I think he was tapped out on creativity, and I think that this was a little slump for him.
I agree, Mark. What do you got?
I kind of agree with Andy on this album. It had some great singles on it, but it wasn't fit. It wasn't as good as what he put out before. He was kind of going downhill from there until we get to one album.
Yeah, right.
We get to that one
Well,
album.
there are a lot of albums in the future that I'm still on board for.
Yes. Well, I'm on board for them, but this one album just brought him back for me. And I
Okay.
listened to this album way after it came out. And I was like, oh, wow, he
Right.
got it. He got back the heart and soul. And then we'll get to that out later.
All right, man. So I think everyone's talked about uh yeah.
Sacred
Sacred
Heart.
Heart.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that moves us on to Dream Evil. And I'm gonna go with this one first. Very solid record in my opinion. This is the time I believe he starts to switch up guitar players. Viv's out, Craig Goldie's in. So it does have a different sound. It really does have a little bit of a different vibe without Vivian in the group. Still same heavy backbeat. Still same Dio. So that didn't change. But I don't know. I think it's a solid record, man. What do you think, Mark?
Which Mark?
Mark? California Mark?
California
California
Mark.
Mark.
California Mark.
Dream
Oh,
Evil.
I like this album. It's good.
Okay,
It's a
you
little
go
better than the last album, but it's still not up with the first two albums to me. I won't
Right.
skip it. I like it. I listen to it. I enjoy it. But it's if I want to listen to Dio, I go to the first two albums or a
Yeah.
third album.
Well,
So,
it's tough. It's tough to really keep that first two album momentum, but
yeah.
you know, even with the wheels falling off a little bit, I like Dream Evil. Tim, what do you think about it?
If Sacred Heart was a little bit of a slump, this was a comeback because Dream Evil is awesome as far as I'm concerned. You have tunes like All the Fools Sailed Away. You can't get a better song than that. Are you kidding me? And Night People and
People rules.
it's Dream Evil. I mean, Dio's voice on this album is fucking amazing. And the band is, you can't get any more solid than that.
Yeah. What did you think about Goldie coming in to replace Viv?
I thought he was a good replacement on this album.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his overall playing, but this particular album, he was on fucking fire.
Yeah. I agree.
From
Sorry.
this album, this is the best I've ever heard Craig Goldie play on anything.
Oh, God, I agree with you there. 100%. Yeah. Andy, what did you think about Dream Evil?
Yeah, you know, I was a little down on the previous on how Sacred Heart, but dude, what a bounce back! Because just starting with this album cover freaking rules.
It
You know,
does.
with the little girl on the bed and the demon coming underneath the
Yeah.
bed, dude, it's fucking badass, dude. And the music matches this album cover. This is a phenomenal album. In fact, this was the first Dio album I heard. This what made me go back and hear the others. But man, I really liked this album a lot more than I did Sacred Heart. I know that this was the fourth, but I put this along with the other two. I really like this album a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
I would agree.
Dolly. Dolly.
No, with Dream Evil, this is another tour I saw, and like I said, there was stability still in the band. Of course, he had Craig Goldie was the new addition, but he had already done the previous year's tour, and it was a great show. It was actually it was Sabotage and Megadeth and Dio. That was my first triple bill, and I was like so psyched. I'm like three fucking bands we're gonna see. And even though Dave Mustaine was pissy that night because there was just something ticking him off though. I don't know.
When isn't he pissy?
And he did enjoy our mosh pit, even though he was egging us on saying all night like, all right, well you can't mosh, so they'll stop the show. So don't fucking mosh. And we did a mosh pit anyway for Peace Sells. And he was kind of like, well, all right, you did a little mosh there. He's like, I kind of like that. But so we did get on his. We actually cheered him up a little bit, I thought. But yeah, great fucking live show. I loved it. But I did notice that was the first show I saw that I remember I would always go see the shows in the Ed Coliseum, and the arena was completely full. And then when they turned the lights on near the end, like I guess for like the encore or something like that, the last couple rows were empty. I was like, well, what's going on? That's why I thought that people were stopped going to see these metal and rock shows, at least in our area. And I was like, wow, this is '88, man. What the hell? I thought we're still peaking out with metal, heavy metal, and hair and headbanging, you know?
Yeah,
But no,
88. Yeah.
I think that was like the first crack in the facade that people were getting a little bit tired of it. And I was like, oh shit, like this can't be going on, man. Like this is gonna continue forever. But but getting to the album though, it's solid. I like it. It's got the deep tracks, and once again, I really enjoy, you know. I have no idea what a Sunset Superman is, but
Yeah.
that song fucking kicks ass. If someone
Yeah,
can tell me what Sunset Superman is, maybe don't tell me because maybe I don't like it actually. So, but yeah, All the Fools Sail Away as a classic Dio track. Dream Evil, the ending. Dream Evil. That
Like
fucking
people.
rules, man. Love it. So yeah, good album.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. California Mark.
California. What are we on?
Dream
Dream
Evil.
Evil.
Did I already talk about this album?
I guess you did already, maybe.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
we're gonna say you did.
already talked about it. I
All
said it
right.
was great. It rules. I love the title track. It's a great album. It's better than Sacred Heart. There you go.
Yeah. It was.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the reminder there, buddy. That takes us to Lock Up the Wolves, which now we're changing the band pretty
Entirely.
big. Now we've got Rowan in there.
Yeah,
He's
bringing
like a
another
16,
guitar.
17-year-old kid at the time. And Vinny's off of drums, and now we bring in Simon Wright on the drums. And I think Bane is still he's the bass player on
No,
this
new
record.
bass player too.
Yep. Oh, did they? Who did
Yeah.
they bring in?
Oh,
He was
wow.
actually a lefty too, which when I saw the first video, it was the wild one, and I was like, holy crap, the whole band is gone. Where's Vinny? Where's Jimmy? Where's Chris? Yeah, because like I said, before the internet, I didn't catch that he sacked the entire band, but that's what he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, the album's okay. It's kind of missing some of because obviously it's totally different band. So it's kind of like missing some of that mojo. And he toured a really tiny freaking venue. It was not even an arena anymore. He was playing in theaters.
Was that grunge era?
Kind
Kind
of
of
pre-grunge.
It was just album sales.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, album sales.
Yeah, like I said, he
Or
wasn't
lack
he didn't
thereof.
yeah, he didn't really have a big hit either. So
I don't know, man. I thought this record, I mean, the Wild Ones was a little different. It was like I didn't like that song at all when I saw the video. And then, like you said, what? Where's the band? This is not the
that was a
band.
shock.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
where did everybody go?
so it's but the deeper the album goes, it's got a lot of good classic Dio, bottom end, slow mid-tempo, thump you over the head songs. His vocals do not strain at all on this record. I mean, I really like it. I think it's grossly overlooked and underrated, but that's me. I don't think it's one of his best, but I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it should be overlooked. But what did you think about it, Tim?
First single I heard was Wild One, which I loved. I thought it was a
Really?
great track, and I was like, all right, if this is the first single, we got something good. And then I heard the rest of it, and I'm like, I mean, Dio's voice is still Dio's voice, but the music was, and I remember seeing an advertisement, Lock Up the Wolves with 17-year-old guitar wizard Rowan Robertson.
Right.
You have never heard of Rowan Robertson since then.
I was
Very
just
little.
about to ask you, who is he? Because I've never heard of him before.
He was
And
a
he is,
young guitar player at that
and
time.
he was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
17 years old and your career's over. That's,
Yeah.
or
He's
18,
gone on to other things, but nothing as high profile as Dio. I
Yeah,
mean,
not even close.
he was playing in Bang Tango, I think, at one point, and some of these washed up bands, he shouldn't be washed up so early. He had a lot to offer, but something happened. Something happened.
Yeah, and like I said, Wild One, I still love that track. But the rest of
It's
it
sticking
was
true to the Dio fashion. He opened the album with a
a
nice
banger.
upbeat
Yeah,
kind of raise your
yeah.
fist kind of song. Yeah.
And after that was, like you said, mid-tempo, bang you over the head, and it didn't bang me over the head. So
I think maybe the formula has just started to switch up so frequently and so much that getting back to that core like Jimmy and Vinny, bottom end and a good guitar player. Not that Rowan's bad; he's an amazing guitar player, but you start to lose some of that chemistry. I think
yeah,
they're switching
it,
members. There's no time
exactly.
to get the chemistry.
Exactly. I mean, Dio spent all this time building up a band
Right.
to just dump them. I don't understand it. Unless there was a
Well,
really big fight,
well, I know Vivian, he left, but
well, he'd left before anyway, so
and the band, the band's probably not profiting like they used to, and other opportunities might have come Vinny's
yeah,
way.
and I
And we all
understand
know
that,
like
but
Jimmy had his demons, and there was times when he was not in a good spot, so maybe
but
he's moving
I
on, or
just it
they,
just seems like you spend all this time building up this band with these members.
yeah,
So like Jimmy Bain been in there from the start, so Dio knew what Jimmy Bain was all about. Dio knew all these members because he
yep,
worked with them, so
yeah.
he knows them.
Jimmy's like addictions weren't a surprise. They weren't a secret to Dio, so he knew what he was dealing with when he brought him in. But
Exactly. He knew what Vinny Appice was all about because he played with him in Sabbath. He knew what Viv was all about. I mean, you spend your time around people, you get to know them. The good, the bad, the different. So
yeah.
to just dump them
I don't
and
think Dio dumped anybody. I think him and Vivian had a falling out. I think Jimmy probably saved his life. I mean, he did eventually pass away, but I think at the time kind of saved his life. I think they couldn't have Jimmy being part of the machine because it was just going to kill him quicker.
well, maybe Jimmy didn't want to be part of the machine because he knew it would kill him. I mean, but
Yeah.
who knows? But I mean, it just seemed
Yep.
weird that all of a sudden the whole band is gone.
Just a brand new band.
You
Not like
know,
I get it. I get the guitarist kind of rotating guitarist thing. You don't like to see that, but I get it. But there was still the core band, and like you said, it's like Wild Ones came on MTV, and I see Dio sitting there. I'm like, who's that guy?
yeah.
Okay, I know Simon Wright, but why is he in Dio? And then
I
who's
see
this
there.
other guy?
Wait a minute, wasn't he in AC/DC? What the fuck
Right, I
happened?
did what? Yeah, so I didn't know what was going on. Andy, what's your thoughts on Lock Up the Wolves?
I stopped listening to Dio at Dream Evil. I never heard. I didn't listen to Dio after that. So I'm just here to hang out and to learn. Like here,
Okay.
I just learned that this was a whole new band. I didn't know that. So that's why there's a change. So this is really cool, all because I didn't hear these albums. It's really neat to hear y'all talk about it because it seems like Mooger and Mark and Tim know their deal. So this is really cool. Having a good time
Yeah,
just hanging out and listening to you guys.
nothing wrong there, and I'll learn stuff too, man.
It's awesome.
Daly, have I asked you about Lock Up the
Yeah,
Wolves?
yeah, because I kind of like talked about earlier. It was the
Oh,
was
that's right. Yeah.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going to smaller venues. Then it was going to continue that way for a little bit, foreshadowing.
Hey, Mark, California Mark, man. What do you think about Lock
California
Up the
Mark.
Wolves?
No California Dreaming here. Lock 'em with
California
Wolves is
girl.
it's a good album. It's not the best. It's not like Dream Evil. It's a little downgrade from Dream Evil, but it's a good album. I don't skip it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get into this record for a while, but yeah, I'm glad I did. I'm glad there's a lot of actual Dio stuff I'm glad I got into, even though it was a little bit late. So everyone talked about Lock Up the Wolves, right?
Hmm.
All right. So man, we're gonna move on to and I'm gonna take this one because it's one of my all-time favorite Dio records, Strange Highways.
Yeah,
People,
baby.
Terrible album
I
cover
mean,
though.
this you brought in Tracy
G.
G. He's got an Italian last
Try to
name, I think.
pronounce his last name, but then you'll know why he's called Tracy G.
Yeah.
Tracy G, exactly. And
Tracy.
I didn't think he was
Give
chasing
it
a
up.
trend. I didn't think he was chasing the times or a sound. I thought this was just a perfect record. Tracy was amazing. Joe Pilson's in there. Vinny's back on drums. And so Pilson and Vinny just laying down a hell of a bottom end. Tracy just killing it on the guitar. I love the way the songs were wrote, arranged, recorded. I don't know. This one's, I picked it up not even knowing he had a new one out, put it in my CD player, and it didn't leave for a good year. I
Mm.
just love this record, man. Tim, what's your thoughts on Strange Highways?
I remember I saw this record in the record store and I looked at the album cover and I was like, what the fuck? But it said Dio on it. And I was like, well, I'm looking for new music, so let's give it a go. I'm glad I did. Very underrated album.
I agree.
Very underrated album. It's great.
Yeah.
But it didn't get a lot of pub. You know,
It did.
not when it first came out, it wasn't like you saw ads, Dio coming out with a brand new album. It was
Yeah.
just kind of there.
Yeah, this is the
Tracy
time when
G.
bands like Dio, Cinderellas, and not that they're even in the same camp, but it's the same time where bands, really good bands, releasing really good stuff, still on a major, but the major wasn't putting anything behind it.
Mhm.
It's like, we'll get you out of the studio, we'll get it produced, we'll get it distributed, and you're done. You're
Hope
dead.
for the best. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
And
said, I had no idea it was coming out.
Tracy G, who I believe went on to be in a band called World War III,
Okay.
played
Sounds
his
right.
ass off on this.
Yeah.
And again, another guitarist that you really haven't heard much about since, but he was on a Dio album. You know what I mean? And so he's
And a
always going to
damn
have a
fine
name.
deal record.
He's always going to have a name. He's always going to have recognition because he played on a Dio album, just like Rowan Robertson. Same thing.
Right. Yeah. And I
Very
think
very rock solid album in my book.
yeah, man, Tracy didn't get the love I think he deserved. I didn't know it at the time because there's no Facebook or social media. It was just,
Mhm.
what you read in rock magazines, but you didn't see a lot about
You
Tracy.
got your news from either Circus, Rip, or Cream.
Yeah.
Magazine.
Well, I was a Metal Edge hit
Not
parade,
Metal
Cream.
Edge, another one, yep.
Yeah. So
But that's how you
yeah,
got your music news.
yeah, it came out of nowhere. It was a pleasant surprise, and I think it was just a damn fine record, hands down, man. I think it's so solid. Dolly, what did you think about Strange Highways?
Like I said, I would always look forward to seeing a Dio album in the record store. I saw the album, and and me being Mr. Very, I don't know, very superficial, picked up the album and said, "What the fuck is this cover?" And just put it
Yeah.
back. And then finally, some songs came on. The friend of mine was like, "Oh, you gotta give it a chance." I said, "I know that one cover sucks. You know, they cut back on the artwork, but just listen." I'm like, "Okay, fine." I listen, and yeah, it's really good. It's got a lot of good tunes on there that I like. My favorites are Jesus, Mary, the Holy Ghost. That
Yeah.
record rips, man.
Yeah.
It's not evolution, it's
Yep.
evolution.
Evolution.
Yep, good tunes, good tunes. Firehead, it's good. It's a good
Oh,
album, you know. But
yeah.
like I said, I always would look forward to the album artwork, and then I kind of like, wow, what the freak, man, you know? And it continued on for even the next album too. I did the same thing, picked it up, so
Okay.
look at this
What
shit.
was the song that had the lyric? Refresh my memory. It's one of my favorites. He was like, "Bury my bones on the moon. If they never would find me, it would be too soon."
Wasn't
You
that
know
Um,
what
Man with
these?
I
Moon?
think
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
yeah, but yeah, it's a good album.
Oh my God, so good. Okay, California Mark, you like this one? I saw your thumbs go up on this one.
I think he's
Mark, 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 you're muted, buddy.
I think he might be on the call maybe.
You're muted, bud.
You guys muted. I think he's on a call.
Well,
Oh,
maybe he's having another
Okay,
conversation
so
with someone.
I will talk about this album.
There you
Even
go.
though even though I didn't hear this album before, it's pretty cool to hear you guys talk about it. So y'all are really talking very highly about this album. I don't know who this guitar player is, but it sounds like he really kicked ass. Like, what guitarist does he remind you all of?
Hmm.
What's
Vivian.
up?
He's Tracy G.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those very underrated guitar players and very original actually. So I don't know exactly I could say a person that he kind of reminds me of, but you could give it a shot.
Okay.
He had a very good um he had a very different sound, a unique sound.
Well,
So
I
it's
actually I forgot to say something though. This was the end of the Dio and the Rainbows. It was just a year after Dehumanizer with Black Sabbath, that reunion. So you were never going to get Dio and Rainbows and too many nice golden dreams that you could achieve it if you try hard and you'll reach your goals. No, that deal was gone. There was
Yeah.
no more of that.
Yeah, because I looked it up. It said that this was in '93, and
Mm-hmm.
what
Mhm.
Dehumanizer was what 1991.
Yeah.
92.
Oh, it was
And
92. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And Dio
Well,
was still,
well,
and I think Dio was still pissed off that that
he
ended
came
too.
off the Dehumanizer tour and made this album.
Yep.
He seemed like he was pissed off. So that's what
He
you got.
was.
Oh, he's pissed off because he just got fired from Sabbath.
Again,
Yeah.
Like, no, he
Yeah.
actually left Sabbath. He wasn't
Left
fired.
Oh, because
Planet.
he didn't want to
Oh,
open up for
no,
Ozzy.
he left Sabbath because they wanted to bring Ozzy back
Yeah.
on Oz. They want to play Ozfest with Ozzy, and he said, "Why are you going to play with Ozzy when I'm back in the band?" That's why he left.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
wow.
better off on his own anyway. I mean, to be honest. And if that pushed him into making this amazing record, thank you. And the
Well,
song I was croaking there was the song called Pain.
oh,
Uh,
That's
Pain.
one of my
Good one.
favorite
Yep.
songs on the record. So California Mark, sorry that you were a little busy last time. Now tell us what you think about Strange
I
Highways.
pulled a booger and I muted myself for some reason.
Oh,
Uh, this is a great album. This is one of my favorite Dio albums that I didn't hear. I didn't hear this in '93. I heard it 20 years later. And I go, I missed because he started making albums that I was like, do I want to hear Dio anymore?
Yeah.
Is he dead? Dehumanizer was great. And then I didn't know anything after Dehumanizer. And I love this album. Jeff Pilson on bass from
oh
Dokken.
yeah.
You got Vinny back on drums. And Jeff and Vinny wrote songs with him on this. It was a very solid album. It's one of his best of all time. I put this number three at his solo career. You got Holy Diver, you got Last in Line, and fucking Strange Highways is number three.
Wow. I gotta
I
listen to
almost
this
can't
album.
fault you. I can't argue with you on that
If
one.
Yeah.
given the choice between pleasure and pain,
Yeah.
I choose pain.
Da, 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 da. Oh my God. So good.
But Tracy G, I was thinking what Andy asked,
Yeah.
and it's going to be so cliche sounding, but at least in parts on this album, he sounds like Iommi.
Mhm.
That's why I
I
wanted
can
to
see
know
that.
if it had that kind of feel.
Yeah,
He wears his influences on his sleeve, no doubt.
yeah.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like Iommi note for note on every song on the album, but there are parts where it's like Tony could have been playing that song and nobody would have known the wiser. Nobody would have been the wiser.
He was a good riff guy. He was a good riff
Yeah,
master on
he was a
that
solid
record.
riff guy. Yeah, his solos were. They're
Oh,
not
I mean,
yin yang bouncy,
I think they were taming his solo, pulling him in a little bit on those, but
but he's not a Malmsteen or anything like that, a virtuoso, but
Right.
they
he
need to
can
be.
get through a solo. He can get through a
Because yeah,
solo.
I just listened to the opening riff, Jesus, Mary, and Holy Ghost. It sounds a little bit like Time Machine from Dehumanizer.
Yep.
That this they drop the E down to a D, and it's like really, yeah,
That's what I mean. In
it's a little more
sections,
deep tone.
it could have been an Iommi playing,
Yeah.
and nobody would have been the wiser.
I agree with you 100% on that. So we're going to take this same band, move it one album into the future, and we're going to go Angry Machines, which,
Another ugly album cover. Like what?
yeah. So
I was like, what
this,
happened to all the beautiful album covers you put on?
no, this album in particular for me, I did not at all hear this when it first came out, but he came around my town on this tour in a small club. Played some songs off of it. I was blown away, picked it up at the merch table that night. It gets panned a lot by people. I don't understand why, because it's almost like to me, a Strange Highways part two. The songs just, they're not as good as Strange Highways, but I don't think they're any worse. I don't think there's anything that really stinks on the album. That's my opinion. Daly, what was your thoughts of Angry Machines?
But it's okay because the thing that I didn't like, it was basically, yeah, like kind of like we said, it's part two. It was really not enough. Like I needed more color to it and
There
vibrant
wasn't
sound a
enough,
little bit more, a little bit of variety.
differential between the two.
Yeah, it was this. Yeah, it was kind of like if someone popped it in and said, "Oh, let's listen to Angry Machines." I'm like, okay. And then they popped in Strange Highways and said, I probably want to call it right away, you know. It's like I said, it seemed like more of the same actually. And I was kind of like, so I wasn't too crazy about it. It was probably my least favorite Dio album. Oh, I'm sorry, no, Magic is. I wasn't crazy about the but I'm jumping ahead. But that's what I thought about
Yeah, man, I always thought it was pretty solid. Um, but I agree that maybe this formula is kind of too much the same from the previous, maybe,
it.
you know. What did you think about it, Tim?
Again, it's a solid album, but nothing stand out about it. Really? I mean, even the singles they released off it weren't anything,
Right.
Oh my God, what the hell was that? It was rock and roll, it was solid rock and roll, and I think at this point in time in Dio's career, people were just getting tired of him.
I think he's like playing old hat at this point.
Yeah,
I think he's just
because he's
old.
been releasing albums up to this point about every year.
Yeah. But there's you know, times change big time between like early 80s to the early 90s, mid 90s. Things were changing so quick with music. And yeah, man, there's so much more to explore. That's why I didn't hear this album when it first was released and came out,
Yeah,
because I kind of moved on,
I just
moved
think
on
that
from Dio a little
I
bit.
think if Dio had taken like a year or two off,
Yeah,
refreshed himself,
but
you know,
mortgages need to be paid, crew
oh,
members need to be
I
paid.
understand that, but
Yeah, I know, I know. But
you know,
what part of the machine and the artistic don't always match. Like you said, take a couple years off, regroup, figure out what you want to do.
yeah, figure what you want to do, figure out the album you want to make,
Yeah,
and
but and then the business side is going, you owe us a record
yeah,
or you owe us the advance back. And Wendy's going, baby, we need to pay the mortgage. We need to keep the lights on. We need to pay our crew. We
yeah.
need to,
Believe
yeah,
me, I
yeah.
understand. I've dealt with it. I
I
know.
bet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there comes a point in everybody's career. I don't care who it is. You can name the biggest names, and we are Dio.
Right.
Eventually, you have to choose between your career, what's best for your career, and what's best for right now.
Right.
And I still think that if he'd have taken a year or two off between Strange Highways and this album, and come out even with this album,
Right.
the exact same album, it would have given the listener,
Some
oh,
time.
Dio's back,
Right. Sometimes that's the best
But
thing
this
a
album
band can
was
do is
3
just
years
disappear
later.
for a few years. Yeah.
This
Yeah, but
album was like
he was still playing shows between that. I mean,
Yeah.
done between Strange Highways and this, nothing.
Strange Highways was 93, Angry Machines was 96. It's like 3
Yeah,
years
but
later.
he was still out there touring before the album came out.
True.
So he
was
was
never
still
off the
out
road.
there.
He was never off the road. That's the thing.
I mean, go to your house and live your life for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then come back. Then that way people have a chance to go, oh, Dio's back.
But
Yes.
that's also it's a balance at that time when everything was changing and the music was changing. It was like, do we try to stay out and stay relevant, or do we just disappear? Because the fear is, if we just disappear, no one's going to give a shit if we come back.
But Dio was going to be Dio no matter what.
Yeah, but
he was going to make his music no matter what.
What do you think, Andy?
But the thing is that music moves so fast.
Mm-hmm.
If Dio would have taken a 3-year stoppage in the mid '90s, that would have been so hard for the band and for everybody that is attached to the name Dio. It's not just the guys on the stage; it's the men and women that are
it's the lighting people, it's the sound people, it's the managers, it's everything.
The office people,
the truck drivers that are driving the equipment from place to place in town to town.
To think about, there's so much.
The road crew. Yeah, I get it, but
it's so hard.
There comes a point in everybody's career, like I said, where you got to think long-term career. What's best for my long-term career, or what's best for right now?
And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to
even if you're taking a year off.
Yeah.
Between doing anything. I just think it would have been better for this album, sales wise.
just to breathe a little bit,
just to breathe.
I get it, man.
Let people forget who you are. So when you come back with this album, but
people are going to forget who you are. That's a problem.
They wouldn't have, at this point, they wouldn't have forgotten about Dio. No.
You would never really forget about Dio.
They would have given him a chance. They would have given him a listen.
Yeah, but there was so much going on at that time. I mean, bands of his era were disappearing, and it's kind of a miracle he was still out there.
Yeah. The fact that he still could have a name on a marquee, still pull a couple thousand people per club, and still make it somewhat of a living and a career out of it. Yeah, man. Big time. Yeah, Mark, California Mark, did you talk about Angry Machines?
No, I think this is a good album. It's not as good as Strange Highways, but it's listenable. When we get to the next album, it might not be.
Yeah, right. So we're going to move on to the next album right now. and this is his attempt at
Uh,
concept record. We
yeah.
have Magica.
Yeah.
I heard this review on Freeform because y'all reviewed this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, wait, this was a vinyl battle with something.
I don't remember, but I
It
just
was
know
something.
this
And
album
y'all
is like it was
handed.
all written by Dio, and it's like, oh God, he kind of went weird on this album. I'm sorry I went first.
Nope, open it up, buddy.
The Magic of Story is like one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life.
It's Hobbit music, right?
It's horrible. I don't like really. I don't think I like any of these songs on this album.
Wow.
It's like it's a throwaway Dio album. And I hate to say that. He's one of my favorite singers of all time, but this album fucking sucks.
Sometimes you just don't have the material.
No,
You can be
you
great,
don't.
but, you know?
I think he had an epic, magical theme, and I think it was a lot to chew. And I think this is a perfect concept for him to explore, especially Dio and his his labyrinths and his Egypts and his mysticism. Something fell short with this. So it was like it's like you needed to develop this and develop it and develop it. I think
The
it was a little
spoken
rushed,
word.
maybe.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
Yeah, I don't think I actually still put it on and enjoy it in the background, but there's maybe one song on the entire record where I'm like, "Oh, that's a good song. I'm gonna play it again." Most of the time is like, music from The Elder, but music from Dio, music from
Yeah.
Magica,
I think this album is worse than music from the Elder. And you
I
know how
love
much I
music
hate
from The Elder, so
you
you
know
won't
how
get
much I
any
hate music
arguments.
from the Elder.
You
Some of
sure
the
do.
Music
Would you
from
rather
The Elder is
listen
one
to
of my
album
favorite
art?
Kiss records.
Because I love Dio so much and I'm not a huge Kiss fan. So this is a big disappointment for me to hear this from
Yes,
Dio.
but we still had his voice. Thank God the vocals are at least good.
Yeah. And his vocals couldn't save this album.
No,
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 it
no,
couldn't.
no,
It
no,
couldn't.
no.
I wanted so much to really just love this record,
Me
and I
too.
just couldn't. And I
See,
just couldn't. And
this
it was like,
this
oh my
album
God,
just
thank God
proved
you
my
sound
point.
so beautiful, man, but the songs aren't there.
This album just proves my point, and you can go back to any artist you want to. Any artist you want to. If they have a long enough career, they will have at least one or two duds
Oh,
in the
yeah.
batch.
This is like that episode of Seinfeld where he sees this girl in a good light and she's hot, and he sees her in a bad light and she's ugly.
Oh, yes, I've heard about this. She's a two-face.
Yeah, Two-Face. It's like
Two-Face.
Dio rules, but oh my God, he's in a bad light on this album.
I never
But
saw the
I-
good light of this album. I never
I
did.
commend-
No, there isn't.
I-
It's a totally bad light. Yeah.
I actually do really like the story of this of the concept. I love the story. I'm a sucker for those kinds of stories.
No, this
But-
is Dio's attempt at a conceptual album, and
Right, absolutely. It was actually supposed to be a trilogy. So there's supposed to be two
Mhm.
more of these.
He never
God, he
did part
stopped.
2 and 3.
Thank God he stopped.
and I still
Yeah.
want to know, and I don't get it, and I never will get it, and it's like Metallica's Saint Anger album.
Oh God, stop.
When the album is finished, okay, done, that's it. The whole band gets into a room and listens to the finished product. And this is what we're releasing.
Well,
How
if the
the
drum
fuck
sound
does a guy like Ronnie James Dio sit and listen to this album and go, yeah.
because this was a total Dio solo album. Basically,
But you
Craig
think it was
Golding helped
Dio?
him with the music, but it was totally a Dio ego album. That's what I call it.
That's
ego.
not an ego album. It was a
And I also
project
think,
album. It was
going back
something
to
he
Mooger's
wanted to
point-
do. He was passionate about it. I just don't think the songs were there. It was just not a Dio
It's like
record. It's a
Operation
Magica
Mind
record.
Crime 2. It fucking sucked.
Nah, come on.
Yeah, I got suckered into buying that one too.
I got
That's all
it
right,
too
you guys,
over here somewhere.
you can be wrong. That's cool.
But
Dolly, what did
going
you think
back to
of
Mooger's point,
Magica?
I think this was a contractual thing.
No, it wasn't.
Well, it was 4 years later.
It's
No.
not a contractual anything. It's just
No,
something
I
he wanted to
believe
do
that
as a
Dio
passion
has
project.
another
Dio tried to
album
be
made.
artsy fartsy and it didn't work. You're a rock and roll
All right,
singer.
don't
Make a
make
rock and
me-
roll fucking album.
Don't make me pull this show over, man, because I will put on Nostradamus, okay?
I like Nostradamus. I like Nostradamus.
I like Nostradamus
Fuck
too.
that album.
Yeah. I like that album.
Oh, it's fucking horrible.
Nah.
And that's the
Yes,
bad
it
thing
is.
about conceptual albums. They either hit big like Mindcrime or
2112.
2112 or any of the that hit, or they just lose the listener from the opening. What the fuck is this?
Operation Mindcrime too.
Oh, no. Anyway, Dolly, what was your thoughts on Magica?
I always like to look at the bright side of things. Fever Dreams is a kick-ass tune. Love that.
That's the one. That's the song right there. Yep.
That is a good song.
That's what I like. I love Fever Dreams. So usually with the worst concept albums, you could find that one song.
Well,
You're
it's
like,
like Operation Mindcrime too. I like I'm American.
Yeah,
That's about it.
so that's why I recommend it. If you do get stuck with a concept album and you say you buy it, just listen to the one song that you like.
Yeah.
Like music from the Elder, I love The Oath.
Dude.
And
This album
that's
and
it.
another Dio album are my votes for the two worst Dio albums. We haven't gotten to the other one yet.
So that's
Oh,
my
boy.
thoughts.
Right. So as everyone spoke their piece on
Yeah.
the epic of Magica.
Epic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Epic.
Epic.
All right.
Epic
So
failure.
Epic.
okay.
Yeah, I
So
agree with
so Magica didn't go, I think, where he wanted it to. He was gonna do the trilogy of it, or he was gonna do a continuation of the story. But
I think that was an imagination, and we'll
It
see
might
what
have been.
Magica does. And
might have been in the Magica.
he might have had
He might
the two other albums written.
Well,
You know.
anyway,
Dio,
so
who
yeah.
knows?
So now we get on to just a straight ahead rock record, heavy rock record, Killing the Dragon.
No.
And he has said that conceptually this was about the dragon is technology. Whatever that means. And I didn't hate this record, but you brought in Doug Aldrich. You got Bane back on bass and Wright is on drums. This album starts to sound a little rip-off-ish of different bands. I hear some like Maiden, Power Slave Maiden in this record a little bit. I don't know where all that's coming from, but yeah, man, Killing the Dragon.
Oh.
What do you think, Tim? You're just elated, man. You're just glowing over this.
Well, no, it's just that this album seemed to bring in the Ronnie James Dio fascination with dragons. And I don't know why all of a sudden he has a fascination with dragons, but he does.
Hey, he slayed dragons on stage back in the Sacred Heart tour, man.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Well, he had a song called Dragon Slayer. But it's better than the last album. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But it's still
Dolly,
not,
what did you think of Killing the Dragon?
it's still not up to par with
Oh,
Last
sorry.
in Line or Holy Diver. Not even
Or
close.
Strange Highways.
Or Strange Highways or even Dream Evil.
Yeah.
Okay. Dolly, what did you think about Killing the Dragon?
Better. Also, Tenacious D and the Sing Me a Song, You're a Singer.
Yeah.
Pass me the bong, you're a bringer of reefer.
You
The
know-
devil is never
You know
a
what Jack
maker.
Black said about that? Dio
I
called.
think he is coaching the Lakers. That
Dio
was- I
Dio
think
called
Amish
them
Michael
and
Jackson
said,
right there.
"Hey, I heard your song about the Dio song, and I loved it. Will you be in my video?" Jack Black thought he was gonna get all on him, you know.
And that actually that was like one of his first videos in a long ass time.
Yeah.
Finally got they gave him some money. Let's make a video.
Yeah.
And he actually worked with Tenacious D later on.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's better. So yeah, there's some cool tunes in there. When I looked at the track list and I was like rock and roll, I'm like, what the hell is that? They didn't cover Led Zeppelin, did they? No, it's like acoustic, a beautiful song. Like, well, that shocked the crap out of me, you know. And other highlight, I like. Along Comes the Spider. It's good too. Yep,
That's a great one too.
much better, much better album.
One thing I loved about Dio's vocals is he could sing perfectly clean, or he could sing downright fucking dirty, and it still
I
sounded
agree.
great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Mark, California Mark.
I like this album. This is way better than the last album. It's rock and roll. It's Dio. He's going back to his roots. I like it, and I love the video for Push. It's a great song.
Yeah. I can honestly say I didn't at all listen to this record even once when it was released. If I even saw it, if I even knew about it. I was so checked out on Dio by this point after Magica. I was like, yeah, you can release Killing the Smurf. I don't care if Killing the Dragon.
I
Whatever,
was
you
too,
know?
but I'm a glutton for punishment, so
Killing the Smurf.
Given the choice between pleasure and pain,
there you go.
Killing
you,
the Smurf.
you choose Dio. Magica. So, Andy, do you have any questions regarding this era, this time frame?
No. I'm just here listening to you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Jeff,
and
I'll share some of this through the Apple group, and just
and
so you
it's
get
telling me which albums to listen to, which albums to stay away from.
There you
Oh,
go.
stay away
Don't
from
stay
Magica.
away
It's
from any of it.
horrible.
Don't stay away from any of it. Check it all out.
Oh, Magica's horrible.
You stay away from what you want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta hear them, but
Yeah.
I know which ones to hear first. Let me say that.
Yeah. Strange
So this-
Highways.
Yeah.
This brings us to
I'll probably
Dio's
throw that on
official
tonight.
last solo studio record. And that is
Master of the Moon.
Master of the Moon.
Oh,
Not
Look at
Puppets,
this
the
creepy
Moon.
guy. Look at this creepy guy.
oh my
Look at that. I
God.
wouldn't worry about that little guy.
Hey, so did they like retire Murray or something?
Murray
Yeah, he
might-
hasn't been
yeah,
around
Murray's
since
last-
Dream Evil.
He wasn't
Really?
retired. He was just forgotten about.
He's in the window in Dream Evil, actually, I think.
Right.
He
Yeah.
is. He is back there going, what's he doing? Like that
Mhm.
thing? Yeah.
But that was his last one, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know his name was Murray until
Yes,
like
Murray.
Murray. Yeah, until like
Every
long
band had like a
time
little
ago.
mascot. The Knot Man for Anthrax.
Alistair
Rattlehead
Fiend from
Alistair
Motley
Fiend from
Crue.
Robot Man for YNT.
Yeah.
Even Megadeth had one.
Rattlehead.
Rattlehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, having a
And then
mascot.
they just stopped using them. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like
Even
why?
though some people like to make fun of Iron Maiden for Eddie the Beast,
Iron Maiden,
someone else
Eddie is
doing
in
it.
everything, man. Eddie rules.
That's why
Everything.
some podcasts like to make fun of Iron Maiden all the time just because they had Eddie the Beast.
We're gonna have a Iron Maiden.
They're
podcast
very, very superficial. Be
Dude,
critical of it.
dude, what if they release an album without Eddie on the cover? Imagine that, dude.
now. That'd be horrible.
Imagine that.
Yeah, but it
don't
wouldn't be Maiden. They didn't have Eddie.
You need Eddie.
So Master of the Moon, Tim, you seem very excited to talk about this
Oh, my thoughts on Master of the Moon, and I forgot the name, the title until you just said it.
one.
That's what I thought of it.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
It weren't that great either. And for Dio, I expect greatness or damn close to it. And for the most part, he has proven he has delivered greatness. Except for two clunkers, which Magica and this one, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like he just lost whatever it is that
Mhm.
bands or artists have at one point. It just seems like on this album he lost it. He just couldn't find it when he went in the studio.
It could be like the people he was working with. Like on this one, he brought Pilson was back on bass, and I'm pretty sure that was just a favor of some sort, and he was available, and Bane wasn't. You got Wright on drums, and then I think Goldie on guitar again.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Is Goalie did one great album,
Right.
and I've never heard anything come close to that for his playing.
And he was never one of my favorite guitar players for Dio, period. But Dream Evil was amazing.
Exactly.
But then, like you
even
said,
in
like
Whitesnake,
even
he
other
was
stuff he
never-
was a part of was like, it's okay, you know.
Yeah, even in Whitesnake, he was never what I would call a great guitar player.
Right. I'm not one to talk. I wish I could play like a third of what he can play, but you know.
Yeah, but you're not
All that
making your
being said.
living doing it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah. So Dolly, what did you think of this final studio?
It was okay. I really was excited. Like when I said, Killing the Dragon was like much better, and
Yeah.
he kind of like released this. Yeah, it was pretty much like a clunker. Nothing really stands out about it.
Right.
It kind of like it pushed him to that last of his years with Heaven Hell, aka Black Sabbath reunion. So they just weren't allowed to use the name because Mrs. Sharon Osbourne probably had
I love the Heaven and Hell album, by the way.
yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's nothing spectacular.
It almost felt to me like he was just cleaning his plate. Just cleaning his plate before that.
Maybe one more album to fulfill the obligation with a record deal, I guess maybe.
Yeah,
Man,
it's something
that-
like that. Yeah.
But the Heaven and Hell album, dude, that's got a scary feel to it, dude. It's a scary, weird album, dude.
Bible Black, man.
I love it, dude. It's
Oh,
just
so good.
I still want to know how
Adam and
Ozzy
Evil. God.
and Sharon got so much power in that band that they dictated what they could call it.
Well, we call it the Black Sabbath. I remember they were doing a record store signing, and we were all screaming Black Sabbath, even though they were clearly Heaven and Hell. But the fans in the line were saying Black Sabbath.
They
Yeah, but
couldn't
That album
They legally
sounded like
couldn't
the
use
next
the name
Black
Black
Sabbath
Sabbath.
album, for Christ's sakes. I mean,
yeah, it did. Mhm.
it's not like they were singing about rainbows and puppies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
I think Bible Black is my all-time favorite fucking song by Black Sabbath. I'm just gonna say that. I love that song so much.
Yeah. So even though they were called Heaven and Hell, we were all calling it
Black Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
I mean,
In my
What would
music
you not? I mean, that would be like if Led Zeppelin reunited and called themselves something else.
Mhm.
Page and Plant.
You're still going to call them Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin. I mean,
that album is
Bacon Black.
that album is my Black Sabbath playlist.
Yeah.
but like I said, it was like Sharon or somebody had locked up Black Sabbath as a name, and they weren't allowed.
If
to
I
get out of
remember
it.
right, Tony and Sharon had to go to court, and he basically he gave it to her, but she allowed them to do they allowed him to release the Dio years. So it was like all Black Sabbath songs with a couple new tunes. I think that's what they,
I
I think
still
that's what
don't
happened.
know how Sharon
Took over Black Sabbath.
had anything to do with anything with Black Sabbath.
Because
Right.
her
Remember
father was
Ozzy's
Arden,
manager.
and Arden managed Sabbath, and that all
Mhm.
probably got
Yeah, her
passed
old
down.
man managed it. Her old man did manage
Yeah.
Sabbath, but she was never in the band, so she shouldn't have had a say in anything.
But
I don't know.
But I think Tony still has a lot of sway because he released all those box sets, and
Yeah.
Tony was saying like,
Tony
okay,
was in the band. I mean,
right. Well,
Yeah.
but Sharon
Right.
might have the legality that trumps over it. I own it, but I don't think he does. Not the original stuff, not the original Black Sabbath, because like those box sets, Geezer, Tony, they put it together. Oh, but I think there's still some shit going on because you still haven't seen Born Again come out, and it took a while for Tony to be allowed to release the Tony Martin era. They were fighting over that too, but
Yeah.
he finally, I think he had to fight that for that too, because Sharon's a freaking pain in the ass.
But I don't, number one, I don't understand how everybody calls Sharon Osbourne a great manager.
She's
Because
not.
other than Ozzy, and she had one hit album with Lita Ford that she was manager with her with, because of Ozzy.
Mm-hmm.
Who else has she managed to success?
She's
She didn't need to manage anybody else.
she's good at business stuff.
She did
Yeah.
she did manage to
She's
smash
good
the
at
pumpkin.
business because she's got a hammer over everybody's head with Ozzy.
She was able to get Bill Ward not to appear on that reunion tour because she wanted more money for Ozzy. So the band's like, okay, well, we guess we're not gonna bring Bill down. You know?
We're still a Master of the Moon who hasn't talked about it.
There's nothing much to talk about actually.
Yeah, it's a horrible album. I'm done. Magica and Master of the Moon
all
are
about
bad.
it that I want to talk about it. So
Yeah,
See, I don't think Master of the Moon is that bad. To me, it just sounds like it was kind of rushed, unfinished, kind
It's
of
just
piecemeal.
okay. I don't go
out the
back
door.
to it. It's nothing I want to listen to.
Yeah,
And
I don't
Magica,
listen
I
to it
don't
really
want to
at
listen
all.
to at all.
But you said, Boog, you said that it was unfinished, it sounds rough and it sounds raw. That's not Dio.
No.
Right.
Dio's
Dio
a master.
I mean,
Well,
Dio
like I
was
said,
always-
it just sounded like he
type
was
of guy,
cleaning. He
if
was
he went to a
like,
party, if
what
Dio
do we
went to
got
a
left?
party,
What do we got left so we can fulfill our obligation and I can get off to the Sabbath reunion thing? And I think that's what it was. It was just maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe he really tried to make a really great record. It just didn't solidify.
But
That's
Dio
not
was
what it
always the
sounds
type
like.
of guy that would go to a party and he'd be the best dressed guy at the party until one party.
Yeah.
And then he shows up in a pair of fucking flip-flops and a pair of shorts and a tank top. It's like, that's not Dio.
No.
That's,
Mhm.
All right, guys, let's end this. It's been a long episode.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Dio, 90% of his albums are great. 2% suck. And 10% sucks. I was gonna say.
yeah, out of his career from Elf to whatever the fucking moon thing is,
Master of the Moon.
Other than two clunkers, they've all been very solid albums.
Yeah.
And you can't fault the guy for
That's
that.
a hell of a career, man.
Yeah, you
hell of
can't
a
fault
career.
the guy for that.
And he threw in
And-
his
and-
legacy with Sabbath. Yeah.
He is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is a travesty.
Of
Just
course.
saying.
That's why I don't believe in the Rock and Roll Hall.
Yeah,
of Fame.
exactly. I do like when my bands get in there, and I do like seeing them perform, but I don't respect the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, but man, let's thank our people. I just got one thing. We got a new show, me, Jerry, and Mark. We're gonna do Iron Maiden podcast called Killers in Time. So we don't know when Mark will be on.
Yeah.
We don't know when this is gonna come out because
Boy, that's original.
need to work my schedule. So you might guest on there. We'll probably start with the Soundhouse tapes. I'm just going through. We'll do the whole era, and there's so much shit we could do. So much content with Iron Maiden. Bruce
That's
Dickinson
awesome, man.
solo.
Look forward to that.
Family members.
Now that's a
Iron
band
Maiden.
you have to respect just for the longevity alone.
British Lions.
If
We got
nothing
lots
else.
of stuff to talk about them, man. But Mark, man, you're gonna have a podcast, dude. How are you feeling about that?
We'll see how it goes.
You'll be cool, man.
You'll be great, man.
You'll be great, dude.
Terrence had a podcast too.
Well, we don't.
Yeah.
Hey. But man, Andy, pimp your shit, man.
Yeah. Next week on Black Spinner Circle, we're going to be doing top 10 plus 5 thrash albums of the 1980s. With me, I'm just getting into thrash. I'm going to probably be more of a moderator. and I'm more
Overkill.
soaking in all these different albums and writing things down and learning and asking questions. So I'm looking forward to that. And then that's about it.
All right.
The top 5 thrash albums, like from everybody, or like just the East Coast or the West Coast or
Everybody.
overseas?
Oh, well, no, just the top 10 plus 5 honorable mentions of albums from the thrash albums of the 80s.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Cool.
Of the
Overkill.
80s. Yeah, the beginning of thrash.
Nice. Exodus.
I'm just starting to get into thrash, and I've been hitting different eras, and so far my favorite is the 80s era.
Flotsam and Jetsam. There's lots of good shit.
Where you can actually hear vocals and guitar solos and
Testament.
like these 6 and 7 minute epics. It's just awesome, man. I'm loving it. And I bought tickets to go see. This is how deep I'm into it. I bought tickets to go see Testament and Overkill.
Nice.
I
love
April.
Overkill.
A buddy of mine's going to go with me. I want to go. I really want to dig deep into this. And I've seen Testament before. In fact, I saw them with Dio. Well, it wasn't Dio. It was Heaven and Hell that they played with.
Be ready for your ears to start bleeding.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've gone to shows like that before, but it's just a new direction I'm going through, and I'm excited about it.
All right, Mooger, take us out, man.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you're still here, we went long tonight, but it was fun. It was good hang out with Tim, Mark, and Andy. Always love seeing you guys, having you guys on the show. Always a good time, good topics.
Oh, I always love hanging out with my brother. So
that's fun.
Yeah, man. Love having you here, man. All of you. Everyone, take care. Be kind, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Be kind and rewind.
Be kind and rewind. That's a great one, man. Later, guys.